Hey everyone, Brian from Three Geeky Dads here. Before we begin tonight's episode, I just want everyone to know that we are now sponsored by Audible. As an IT professional for a school department, I find myself behind the wheel of my car traveling between schools almost all day long, and that's where Audible comes in. Right now, I'm enjoying listening to Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, read by Stephen Fry. It's so enjoyable to hear this hilarious audiobook read by a proper British comic actor. And that's just scratching the surface. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word content, with everything from bestsellers, celebrity memoirs, and news to podcasts. Yes, if you're into podcasts, and you're listening to us right now, so we can assume you do, Audible has got you covered. Just go to www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial today. That's www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial. You'll get 1 credit, 2 credits if you're already an Amazon Prime member. That's good for any premium selection titles you like, and they're yours to keep. You also get the Audible Plus catalog of podcasts, audiobooks, guided wellness, and Audible originals. Listen all you want. No credits needed. Again, that's www.audibletrial.com/3GD. $14.95 a month after your 30-day trial. Cancel at any time. Audible. Stay informed, connected, and inspired. And now, on with the show.
Warning, incoming dad joke. Warning, incoming dad joke.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Don't you?
Don't you who?
Don't you wish Derek were here so he could give a better dad joke?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah,
yes.
I do right now.
Based on what I just experienced, 100%.
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Tune into your favorite podcast for the Halloween episode. Don't miss it. And don't forget to put on your headphones. The clock is ticking. It's almost time.
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween.
Good evening, and welcome to our first spooky episode for the month of all things Halloween with the Three Geeky Dads, the show that packs a punch for its listeners that probably would like to punch us back. I am Mark, and with me, as always, we are -1 dad tonight. Geek Dad Derek is unfortunately not able to join us this evening. He went to investigate a strange noise outside, saying he would be right back, and never came back.
Cougars on the lawn.
Not to worry. It was the Cougars, huh? Not to worry. Typically happens this time of year, and I'm sure he'll rise from the grave in the sequel. But still joining me tonight, the Jekyll to my Hyde.
Brian.
And also here, as always, to say F you to math and the accuracy of our show title, which, ironically, tonight is actually accurate. Boy, this episode's freaky. The Land of the Dead to the rest of our Romero Living Dead series, Tito.
Hey.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Hey.
How's your week been?
So far, so good.
So far, so good. We are minus
moving
Derek tonight. Derek is
along
actually
nicely.
at a concert. I can't remember. He's seen
Chromeo and somebody else. I just remember Chromeo.
Chromeo.
And Cruliet. Yeah.
Cruliet?
God, you sound so dated when you speak about fucking
Chromeo.
things happening in the now.
I am dated.
Chromeo and Cruliet?
Chromeo and Cruliet. There's a Cruliet out there somewhere.
I hope so.
Cruella.
Absolutely. Speaking of cruel,
Cruliets.
anybody catch the Pats game on Sunday?
Oh, that was awful.
Oy vey.
I watched a little bit of it. Yeah, it wasn't great.
How you feeling?
They stunk on ice.
Not great. Yeah, I'm not feeling great about this team.
And now Mike was telling me that he wants them to lose the rest of the season for drafting purposes. You got to educate.
Oh,
me
yeah,
on
I'd
sports.
be okay with that.
Yeah.
They don't have
Okay.
anything of value right now.
No, they have no
Alright.
talent.
on their
So
team.
by losing everything,
You get a
they
higher
win.
draft pick
Right.
and get something.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love football. I
They
can't
got
figure
Drake
it out.
May last year. Drake May is.
You got to
sit
lose
on
to
the
win,
bench.
Mark.
You got to lose to win.
Yeah.
Well, then color me victorious every freaking day, man.
It only
Anything
applies
else?
to football.
How's your fantasy football thing going? How's that?
Pretty
going?
good. So far, so good. I missed Derek a couple of times. We didn't link up.
He's
I wasn't
gearing up for Chromio.
I was so
focused.
I know. I was so focused on what was
Right.
happening this week, and I forgot about him. And I got a feeling he won though.
All right.
He's got a pretty good team.
Derek, let us know.
He's probably popping like Molly right now, just fucking feeling the vibes.
He is.
On a Wednesday night, just get out of his mind.
Jamming a Chromio.
Feeling it.
Wow, this concert sounds like I'm not going to work tomorrow.
I feel a cough coming.
He's like, it's getting weird in here. I should probably leave. They won't stop touching me.
Is it warm in here? Just me.
No, it's warm in here. All right, that concludes the sports talk of our show, sports section of our show.
Sports
Boy,
/
it has been
concert
a
section.
long day today. I'm sorry. Tonight, the dads launch this month of Ghosts and Goblins by celebrating the old and the new, as we look at a classic monster movie and also its remake. We're doing that the whole month of Halloween, so if you don't like that, too bad. Our first creature feature tonight, the Blob. Join us, won't you, as we look at the 1958 Steve McQueen story where Happy Days meets horrors, as well as the 1988 Kevin Dillon story of St. Elmo's Fire meets Slaughter. We'll compare and contrast the movies in one of our usual roundtable discussions. And at the table will be some snacks for us to nibble on, as our own alien of antipasto and anchovies. Brian prepares a yummy appetizer to start us off. Brian,
Mark,
take over. I'm going to go whack my head against the wall. It's the cider you fed me.
It is. You've only had one sip, you lightweight.
I know.
Candygram for mango. Candygram for mango. Candygram for mango.
Mango.
Sign, please. Thank you.
Mango like candy.
Tonight, as Mark mentioned, we're going to be talking about two blobs. No, not Homer Simpson and Peter Griffin.
No.
We're going to be looking at the 1958 film The Blob, starring Steve McQueen. And we're also going to be talking about the 1988 remake of the same name, starring Scream Queen Shawnee Smith and Kevin Dillon. Now, both of these movies deal with an invading, quivering mass that falls from outer space, bent on devouring everyone in its path. But in the grand scheme of things, the Blob is kind of an underrated monster.
Yeah.
When held up to other creature features, that is. The Blob is hardly ever mentioned, and that got us to thinking, what are some of our favorite underrated monsters?
Very nice. Who's going
Pretty good.
first here?
Do you want me to go first?
Please do.
I'm going with the Graboids from Tremors.
Good pick.
You picked it too? Oh, no. Did you really? I am so sorry, dude.
shit.
Do you want me to go with my second choice?
No, go for it.
All right, I can go with my second
We'll bounce
choice.
it. We'll bounce
You want to take
around.
my second choice?
No. I want you to go with your first choice.
I did. I had to think really hard about this
Me
one.
too.
And even though this franchise has been kind of long-lived, nobody ever talks about the worms from Tremors, from the Tremors franchise. And it's a fun-ass series. I do like it. I think the creatures are well designed. I think that they're scary and totally underrated.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
There's no backstory to them
Yeah,
whatsoever.
they're
They
just
just
there.
appeared in the earth and they sense vibrations. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the first
The
Tremors
first
movie.
yeah,
The first
same here.
movie
I
is
love that movie.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
They're all
Really
they're
funny
all
and
kind of fun.
stupid.
They are in their own way, but the first one had that. You had Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward. They were awesome together. They had such chemistry together. What a cast too.
Yeah, Reba
Michael Gross.
McEntire,
Yeah,
Reba
Reba.
Gross.
Yeah, that's right.
Way to go, dudes. That kid who didn't die but should have.
Yeah, and who was the girl that played the
Jurassic Park girl,
Jurassic Park girl?
Yeah, she's the
Oh,
one on
she's
the
the little
pogo-
girl. in
Oh, the little
pogo
girl.
stick. You're thinking the love interest?
Oh, the love interest. I thought you
Rhonda?
were-
You thinking of Rhonda?
Yeah, Rhonda, the
Finn
scientist
Carter.
there.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know for anything.
I
Yeah.
thought you meant the little kid on
Talk
the
about
pogo stick.
underrated. She hasn't been in
Yeah,
enough stuff
super
either.
cute.
Yeah, she
very
was.
cute, very obtainable.
Yeah, for sure. Super
Yep.
cute.
So that's my pick. Sorry, Tito.
That's okay. That's my pick too. I don't have a runner up.
No, go ahead. Go, run
but
with it.
We can go. I love this movie so much, and it's definitely an underrated monster. When it comes to like a blob-esque something from, I was thinking something from space, but you don't know where the fuck it came from. It just
Right.
came from underground. But it's a lot of fun, and it's one of those movies, kind of like the Blob, although the remake is a little more graphic. And there's some kills in Tremors too, but it's still this kind of like PG-13-esque type film. Maybe because Kevin Bacon's in it, and I knew him only for like Footloose and shit like that. But fun ass movie. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. I didn't even think about that. Mine were the Critters from Critters. Another great franchise that often gets overlooked by Gremlins and
Totally.
Actually, really, Critters has always been second place in terms of the best of the Gremlins ripoff, you know. But I really like those movies. The first two especially are
Which is the one with
awesome.
Leo?
That's number 3.
Number 3.
And that's
Oh,
when they're
wow.
in the city. That's okay. It's not the best one. The first two I think are really solid movies though, and I love the aspect of these little furballs. They're rabid tribbles, call them what you will. You know,
They really are.
They grow bigger, much like the blob. The more they eat, the bigger they get. And they've got that great sci-fi comedy fun to them. But I also like the bounty hunters.
Yeah,
The
me
headless
too.
bounty hunters that have to, they shapeshift. And
Yeah.
Terrence Mann and whoever the girl is. And
Yeah. Where are the Krites?
The Krites. We want the
Terrence-
Krites.
That's his fucking name.
Terrence
Yeah.
Mann. Yep.
I always thought he looked a lot like the lead singer of Tears from Fears.
He
He
does.
did, yeah.
He does.
Roland Orzabal.
Yeah,
Yes.
is that his
Yeah.
name?
Yes,
Holy
you
shit.
totally see that.
Good pull, Brian.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Roland Orzabal.
How do you remember that?
Professor
Dude, I
McGonagall.
don't remember what I had
that
for breakfast,
name.
but ask me anything about 80s music, and I'm like right there. It's like,
Holy smokes. What a pull, Draco Malfoy. What was his name?
Roland Orzabal.
Roland Orzabal. I
Shout
could-
out that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great musician.
Very fucking-
He
Really
reminded me,
complicated name.
he always reminded me of Discount Tim Curry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the guy who played Old Loki. What's that guy's name?
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He's in Hudson
Richard
Hawk.
somebody, right?
Richard Grant. Richard
Richard
Grant.
Grant.
Yeah.
Here,
He
those
is
guys
in
are all
Hudson
kind
Hawk,
of
He
yeah.
does have a little bit of that to
Flowing
him,
in the
too.
He's
same
the
area.
ball guy, right? With
Bunny Ball Ball.
Bunny Ball Ball.
Bunny Ball Ball.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Him, Archibald. What the fuck's this guy?
Archibald.
Roland Orzabal.
Roland
that's
Orzabal.
less
Yeah.
ridiculous. Roland Orzabal. What is Orzabal? What
Yeah.
the hell nationality
I
is
have
that?
no idea.
That's
I
a
love
great
it.
name.
That's why I never forgot it.
Orzabal. I'm still going to forget. Tomorrow if you ask
And
me
that's
the
why I
name.
never knew.
Yeah.
Roland Orzabal. What a
Roland
fucking...
Orzabal.
Look at that. There's a Z in it.
Orzabal.
Orzabal.
Yeah, he's a
Wow.
singer and a songwriter.
Yes, he is. And a hell of one, too.
He's from Portsmouth,
Oh.
What? Get out of here.
United Kingdom.
No.
The UK.
Yeah, the other guy named
Portsmouth, Maine.
The other guy whose
New
name was
Hampshire, Maine,
Kurt
whatever.
Smith, Mr. Original name.
Kurt Smith.
And he
Roland
changed it. He
Orzabal.
changed it.
It's
Yeah,
a
he-
shit house.
He changed it from Zachariah Kuchikaya
Good.
to Kurt Smith.
Good change.
It's a good change.
Good change.
That's like Jerry Dorsey changing his name to Engelbert Humperdinck.
That's it.
All right, well, that was fun.
Crazy ass
Yeah,
guys.
so that's my pick. Any runners up?
I haven't seen this movie in a long time, so this is why I didn't pick it. But Pumpkinhead was the only other thing that came
That
to
isn't.
mind.
That's
you
a
don't get
great
a lot
one. No, that's true.
That's funny.
of Lance Henriksen. It's a really that's a scary movie to me actually.
That-
But
that-
that's a really cool character.
It's funny that you mentioned Pumpkinhead,
Pumpkinhead?
because it's on my watch list for stuff to watch like before Halloween this year because I've never
Oh,
seen it
yeah.
all the way through.
Oh,
I thought it was funny that you mentioned Roland Orzabal.
yeah. You know that, but you don't know Pumpkinhead.
Talk about scary.
That was always one of those really
Say your
cool...
prayers, kid, or Roland Orzabal is going to show up.
Yeah, you gotta leave like a jelly bean under your pillow or something, or he fucking takes one of your fingers.
And you only have to say his name once because you're never going to remember to say it like 5 times or 3 times. Or
That's it.
7.
Don't say it in the mirror.
Yeah.
You got any other?
Who show up and sing Rick Astley tunes at you.
But somehow better. I had the Wishmaster. Those movies are comical
yeah.
and fun
Wow.
and silly
That's
in
a good
every
one.
way. But, Andrew Divoff, great actor. Great actor. I remember him from Lost, and he showed up in movies like Graveyard Shift and, what the hell is the one? Air Force One. He's usually a terrorist.
He's
or
the bad
something.
guy in Toy Soldiers.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, he's also in that. Yeah, great actor. So
Lord
that was my runner.
Voldemort. Yeah, all those guys.
Lord Voldemort. Voldemort. Orzabal. Lord
Severus Snape, Roland Orzabal, Albus Dumbledore, the whole gang. That whole gang.
Orzel Dorth and Professor
Hermione Granger.
Bob. You can just combine the names. You can have so much fun with this.
Mia Boob, Sam Jabab.
Slim Bat Walla. My Eddie Izzard moment. Okay. Well, I think that's the show. I think
You're right. I think we
should
just
pull
riff on weird names.
Yeah,
all
we
night.
should pull a George Costanza and just leave while we have
Yeah,
everybody.
Can't stand ya.
On a high note. Yeah. I got a lot of problems with you people. Let's do that. Let's air the airing of grievances.
The airing of the grievances. So my only runner-up was I don't know what to call them, but
sorry, I forgot
no,
about you, Brian.
the creatures from Slither.
Oh,
Remember
that's a good one.
I was on a worm
Yeah.
kick apparently because after I was thinking of the Crab Boys, I'm like, oh, Slither was a good
That's
movie
the James
too.
Gunn movie, right?
It was the James Gunn
that is
movie.
a good-
Talk about
those
an
are
awesome
cool.
cast.
That's
too.
a fucking scary movie. Oh, my
It is
God.
a great movie.
Yeah.
It's in the bathtub?
Yep.
No, thank you.
I know.
Yeah.
And that one chick that's in the barn and she blows up and she has all the
Oh,
worm
God.
babies that
Yeah.
burst out of her. Ugh.
What a great effect that is, though.
Yeah.
Gross.
Creepy movie. Great movie.
I got to rewatch that.
I think I will. I think I will. What'd you say?
I think I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a while.
You know,
Absolutely.
I believe that you will.
I
I'm
believe you
going
will, too.
to. Do you
Yeah.
believe? Do you believe me that I'm really going to do this?
Do you
Yeah.
believe in a life after love?
I think this is a better chance of you watching that movie than remembering Roland Archibald.
Yeah.
Arbenzol.
Archibald.
Arbenzol? Barbasol.
Barbasol.
Barbasol shaving cream.
See, at least I didn't try because I already forgot.
Roland.
Orbazol.
Orzabal.
Orzabal. I'll get it. Listen, I'm going to get it. Ask me again at the end of the show.
I know what I'm getting Tito for Christmas.
Yeah, Roland Archibald. Orbital.
Orbital
Orbital.
Good band.
Let's go to the main course.
Oh, right.
Let's go to the
course.
Orzabal course.
We got a show to do.
That's
gotta-
right.
We got a show to
Enough
do,
of this
guys.
comedy. Let's
No,
get on with
I think we should just stick with doing okay. The main course.
the main course.
Course. Where were you on that?
I don't have Derek to riff off of.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Damn it, Derek. You and your Chromeo Orzabal.
Chromeo.
Chromeo Orzabal. It works with anything. That's the thing.
That really, yeah, 100%.
Orzabal.
Orzabal.
Wherefore art thou,
I
Orzabal?
am changing my last name to Orzabal.
I hope so.
Good night. I'm Mark Orzabal.
I'm Mark Orzabal.
I'm Tito Orzabal. And I'm Brian Orzabal. Thank you for 3 geeky Orzabals.
I'm Larry. This is my friend Orzabal. This is my other friend Orzabal. It's the cider. It's the cider.
cider.
Folks. It's cider. It's fall.
That's right.
Halloween's in the air. We're giddy.
That's
We're
right.
giddy
Yeah.
as school children.
Second day of October. We're
Yeah,
thrilled.
We're
It's
happy.
our time of the
We're
year.
Thrilled. We're super happy.
Thrilled.
Very true.
All right, so for real this time,
We're
the
get-
main course.
The main course.
I think we're all going to enjoy this little treat. I got the recipe from the Ladies' Home Journal. The mail got wet in the rain, so some of the pages ran together. But what I couldn't read, I just improvised with my own little creative ideas. You see, it's got raisins in it. You like raisins.
This is a story of an alien blob that crash-landed on Earth as a small little glob, but quickly it grew to a great giant beast. On people the creature had started to feast. Soon all went to hell as the townfolk went eaten by a menace more annoying than Star Trek's Will Wheaton. What could stop this great monster from engulfing the coast? Not Tito, of course, for he's staring at toast. Come now, shouted heroes like the great Steve McQueen. We'll fight it and kill it for being so mean. Kevin Dillon in the remake is also quite bold, who stops this great monster by using the cold. So sit back and join us as we talk the Blob, talking classic and remake, for that is our job. It's Halloween time, which makes all the dads sing until Mark screws up the show and spoils the whole thing. So grab all your candy and a corpse as it rots. It's time for the dads with their opening thoughts.
Nice.
Opening thoughts.
Well done,
Thank
my
you.
friend
Thank you.
Mark.
We're only going to get better.
I hope so.
That's the only thing I can
don't know.
do now is rhyme.
Wow, I don't know if you can top that. I thought that was pretty freaking fantastic.
Depends what the next movie is and if I got time. So,
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah,
All right.
you take the helm.
My opening thoughts. My opening statement.
You see?
Yeah, well, you see, way back when. No, I think I saw the remake first, honestly. The remake came out in 1988, 30 years after the original, and I remember seeing this in the movies when it was first released. And despite the fact that it had Kevin Dillon in a starring role, I was never a huge fan of him or his brother Matt because they have very punchable faces, and they always seem to play the same character in everything.
You just want to punch him
I
at everything.
do, I really do. But I remember liking the remake a lot. It had the adorable Shawnee Smith. I absolutely loved her, and that definitely helped. And the blob effects were practical like the original, but turned up to 11 to be really gory and gooey and gross. So props there too. Remember, though, at the time I had never seen the original in its entirety, so I had really no frame of reference. Flash forward to now and having seen the original multiple times, and I think it's a solid monster movie. No pun intended, you see, because the monster's gelatinous, of course, and it's not
a solid
at all. But anyway, jokes, Tito, jokes. Orzabal.
Way too
The monster's name is
sophisticated.
Orzabal.
Stop trying to be so sophisticated with your fucking puns.
But you have the always cool Steve McQueen in his first starring role, quote unquote, in a motion picture, leading a decent cast, even if the quote unquote teens in this movie are all pushing 30. And the movie still holds up today. The Blob, especially in its deep red Technicolor glory, still looks fantastic. And until last night, I don't think I watched the remake again since watching it that first time in the movies in 1988. And now I can compare the two, and I have to say that I like both of them. I love the first one for its small-town alien invasion type story with characters that you're rooting for, and the remake retains a lot of that, while changing the monster's origins a bit to fit the cynical 80s, don't trust the government vibes.
Yeah.
So I say you can't go wrong with either version.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's
well
good.
said.
This was Steve McQueen's first movie?
Not his first movie, but his first starring role.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is the first Steve McQueen movie I've ever seen.
Really?
I've never seen a movie with Steve
You never
McQueen
saw The
in
Great
it.
Escape?
No.
You never saw Bullet?
No.
Oh, you got to see Bullet.
All
You
right.
love Bullet.
I will
You
see
should
Bullet.
You should see The Great Escape.
And
Too.
Yeah,
The
that's
Great
a good one,
Escape.
too.
Both
Okay.
are really good.
I will see both. First time, so I was like pleasantly surprised when he popped up on screen, and I was like, holy shit, Steve McQueen, I've never seen one of your movies.
Finally.
Yeah, right. Where have you been all my life, Steve?
He's stuck in the blob.
It's funny because I was born in the 80s. I grew up in the 80s, so the remake is more. I saw it when I was a kid. I haven't seen it in years, and it's definitely that style of movie. But to see the original and then compare it to the remake, and how if you're gonna remake a film, I think they did it the best possible fucking way. It's really kind of amazing how even the small details of the way the town looks are pretty much identical to the original. And the idea of the cafe and being trapped in there, getting locked in the freezer, all of these things are, taken from the original and just brought into the 80s with better effects. Some of these effects are on par with like The Thing, which has some of the best effects you've seen in that time. Practical at least. But for the original, a lot of the effects are pretty cool for the time period. I think, oddly enough, and I'm gonna fucking beat a dead horse. I really like actors. I really like characters. I love Steve McQueen's character in the original, and I like his girlfriend's character a lot. I really like their relationship. I would have liked to have seen that movie minus the Blob, like a Romeo and Juliet-esque type film, because all the stuff with them like sneaking out of the house and wanting to be together and like there's genuine care for each other. I really liked when I thought they were all gonna die in the diner.
Yeah.
I was like, what a fucking awesome ending. This is so brilliant.
So tragic.
That they're making a movie like this back then.
Yeah.
And then it continues. They say they win the day and then they just drop the crate in Antarctica. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
This makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
But up until that point where they got there, it had really like, oh, okay, this is all worth it. I love this idea. They're just going to die in there and they're in love and they love each other. And this is kind of beautiful. And then they save the day, which is also cool. A lot of the side characters, that time in cinema is still at a point for me where it's like, there are standout people, and then everybody else that's kind of the same. So the people that stand out, like a Steve McQueen,
Yeah.
really stand out.
Right.
Even the actress who plays his girlfriend is not bad, but she still has that kind of like feel of that time period where he is like believable as this character. No one believes anything he's saying.
Right.
And he's ahead of his time. too.
Yeah.
He stands out in that movie because of how he looks and how he acts.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, he's got this great presence. I could see why he was such a popular actor.
Mm-hmm.
In the newer one, oddly enough, I like Kevin Dillon. I don't like Matt Dillon. The mullet is, it's got to go.
Yeah.
But what I really like about this movie is and I hadn't seen it in so long, so I forgot. It's presented with this love triangle that immediately is taken away. And I was like, holy shit, this is fucking genius.
Yeah.
And every character you think has
The
a
lead.
potential to make it to the end.
Yeah.
Right. I thought that guy, you
Yeah, the
think that
football
guy
player.
is
Yep.
the lead.
Yeah.
And you can see a spark and you're like, oh, this will be cool. These
Yeah.
three characters are
Yeah.
going to have this adventure, a love triangle. She's going to have to decide which one, but the Blob does it for her. You know, the phone booth. When
When
she's trying to call the sheriff and it's the fucking sheriff is outside and you're
Yeah.
thinking, oh, this guy's going to make it
Yeah.
in a certain way.
But then you see him inside the
And,
blob,
like, half
and
his
the blob
face.
is enveloping
Oh,
the
shit's-
phone booth. Oh,
Dude, it's so good.
great scene.
It's really
I love
good.
that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Time-wise, awesome for both of them. They just don't fucking do it anymore.
No.
Just give me like a beginning, middle, and end. It can be done. We don't need so much filler and extra things and exposition and so much character building. He's wearing a leather jacket. He rides a motorcycle. He has a mullet. He's a town pariah.
Yeah, we
That's
get
what
it.
we need to know.
We get it.
Right.
He's the
Absolutely.
outcast. He's the
She's
punk.
very sweet. She's very nice. He's wearing a jacket. He caught a touchdown. He's the football star.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Some of these movies, you don't need all that extra shit. I think the remake is done very, very well. And both of these movies are definitely good watches.
And that's what makes these 80s remakes like The Blob, The Thing, The Fly
Yeah.
work so well.
Yeah.
Is they don't waste time trying to really outdo the story or outdo anything else from the original other than the effects. Well, we've got some better effects and
Yeah.
new ideas. Let's see what we can do. But the core of the story and the idea of the film are still from the original. It's a respect to the original, because the originals on all three of the movies that I mentioned, I think, are excellent.
Yeah.
And these remakes do it justice by not trying to get rid of what the magic of those three original movies, but just enhance what could have been enhanced, but done so with enthusiasm and not just like super quick,
Yeah.
There's a lot of attention on these effects in The Blob and definitely in The Fly and
Yeah.
most certainly in The Thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's why that era just worked for remakes.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. That movie, again, I hadn't seen it in so long. I watched it last night and I was having a great time the entire time I was watching this movie. Not so much for the original as I was watching it. I was like, okay, this is from a time that I just wasn't around. And when people are still kind of talking to the audience almost in a theatrical way,
Yeah.
where they still don't realize they're like
Right.
in
They're
the
still
movie.
yeah.
It's cool because both movies, like you said, are very much a product of their times.
Yeah,
But like one is
100%.
so rooted in the 50s and one is so rooted in the 80s. It's amazing. But they're both awesome in their own way.
Even like, the music, I really like the music in the original. To start the film, it had this very kind of like cheesy, fun, circusy kind of feel to me. I was like, oh, this is a fun song to start this movie
Yep.
off with.
And it's got a nice theme song written by Burt Bacharach as
That's
well.
Oh, is
right.
that who?
Bacharach.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Beware of the blood.
Yeah,
It
it has
Yeah.
that.
And sleeps
Yep.
and flies and glides across the floor. Also covered by Roland Orzabal and
yeah,
Kurt Smith
it's true.
of Cheers for Fears.
It
No,
is
I'm only
very
kidding.
good.
They should though.
I would like to hear that. So we each had a pick for the month. This was my pick, and I'm really glad we're talking about this because
a good pick.
like Brian said in the appetizer, this is a movie that gets overlooked. Both of them, I kind of feel really, and I love both of these movies. I saw the original once at a sleepover party a long time ago. Didn't remember it. I didn't really get into older films or the original movies until I was much older and just really started like having appreciation for film and really studying it. And once I became a Steve McQueen fan, I really wanted to see the movie. And I was really impressed, even, when I was younger and saw this. I was amazed at what the effects were for even back then.
They are quite good. I thought they would suck, but I was
Yeah.
I was like really surprised in how well they did it.
Absolutely. This is the 50s. This is B movie material, and with B movies often it's either a good story with a really bad monster in it or vice versa. And this one has a decent monster in it, and it's got a good story. Yes, Steve McQueen is the standout in that, and I don't think it would be as good without him. But I love that time period of the 50s. I love the drag racing. My in-laws grew up in that time. Whenever they come over, my father-in-law talks about the 50s, and just like I'm really interested in that just whole all-American time.
Yeah.
The crew cuts and the high school jackets and the cars and the drag racing.
Right.
And this movie has that, and it's got that Technicolor glow that I love. It's like American Graffiti, but there's a monster in it.
Yeah.
And that's just really cool to watch. And then not long ago, Sarah and I watched the remake again. Actually, she had never seen it before, I don't think. I had not seen it since I was a kid. And like you, we were having an awesome time watching it. It is a fun movie from start to finish. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It gets right to the point.
Yep.
But it's written with care. It's handled with care. And
Frank Darabont.
There's, dude,
Yep.
Frank Darabont is awesome.
Yeah.
And has a real respect for this time period. When it comes to horror films, he's all practical effects, all old school, movie posters. He defends comic books as a legitimate art form. Like
As well he should.
he's the guy.
He's the man.
And so, and everything you guys touched upon with both movies, I agree with 100%. These are two great films, and they both need to be watched, I think.
Yeah, I would agree, especially it's getting lost in the sauce, right? That this film, because of what comes out of that time period with like Nightmare on Elm Street, the later Jason films, Michael Myers, whatever else, Critters. There's so
All the
many
Friday
things.
the 13th movies.
They
that
only
was
made
pumping out.
one.
Absolutely.
They could have probably made 6 of these movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, no Son of the Blob.
Right?
No.
There's none of that, and they really could have, and it could have been I love Shawnee Smith too. She's this really
Talk
fun,
about underrated.
Yeah,
we were talking about
she's-
underrated monsters. Talk about underrated actresses too, because I think Shawnee Smith should have had, and we were talking about this earlier. I think she should have had a bigger career than she did.
I only remember seeing her in an X-Files episode.
Dude,
like years later.
Summer School
Summer School
with what's his name?
Mark Harmon.
Mark
Yeah,
Harmon.
Mark Harmon.
Yeah,
She was in
She
that.
plays
She
the
was
pregnant
in
girl.
Who's Harry Crumb?
Who's Harry Crumb? She's in that.
Oh my God,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
she's
my
in
God. She was in a lot
Harry
of
Crumb
little
I saw,
movies.
but I only long time ago
Yeah.
once.
Yeah. She's
Yep.
in the a bunch of the Saw films.
She made a
She's a
comeback
really
in the
great-
Saw
I mean,
movies.
okay.
a
Yeah.
very good
Well, there you
character
go.
actress.
Yeah.
I think it's funny and kind of a bummer. These were things that happened, I think, in the 80s, maybe early 90s, like because you could still get the every woman. She is like an every woman.
Yeah, we were talking before, like
Right?
obtainable.
Yeah,
She would
she's
be
like
obtainable.
Girl Next Door.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah,
Samantha
absolutely.
Mathis, Shawnee Smith, like actresses like this who are, I think, like beautiful women, but also like really good actresses, but maybe don't have that whatever that Hollywood thinks somebody needs to become a star that just doesn't get that.
Well, they don't look. They
push.
don't look like Barbie dolls. They don't look
Right.
like all airbrush, and
Right.
I mean, they just look like people, normal people, good-looking people.
Right.
Yeah.
And you would
But
get a lot
normal
of that in, I feel like, horror films. Like
Yeah.
the Langenkamps, Patricia Arquette, like those actresses are really hometown,
Yeah.
every women. You know, they
Yeah.
would be sought out by all the people that, Johnny Depp in that town would be into Heather Langenkamp, right?
Heather Levenkamp's beautiful in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
She's great looking.
Incredible.
Like,
She is.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and of course Johnny Depp looks perfect,
He's a
perfectly matched.
Stud, that
Dreamy,
fucking weird.
dreamy 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, and his teeth start falling out of his head. Lay off the drugs, Johnny Depp.
Oh, Johnny Depp, you and your Viper Room.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right.
The
He,
Viper.
Yeah.
he killed River Phoenix.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
He's the...
Jonathan.
He's the
yeah,
villain.
He killed
Oh,
River
the cats are
Phoenix.
going nuts.
The cats. You mentioned Johnny Depp's name,
Yeah,
and the cats
the
run
cat-
around.
That kid, is it Donovan Leach?
Yeah.
What else is he from?
I don't know, but I recognize the name.
I thought maybe he was in A Nightmare on Elm Street, but I didn't see him when I
Did
was
you look it
looking
up?
through his
Donovan Leach.
when I was looking
yeah.
through his IMDb, because as soon as he popped up on the screen, I was like, "Oh, is he in A Nightmare on Elm Street?" Because he looks like one of those actors from
Yeah.
a horror film,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all like random, Ward Neely in The Dark Knight, uncredited, like weird shit like that.
Oh, okay.
He was in like Birds of Prey, which nobody fucking ever saw. The show.
I remember
The
Birds of
TV
Prey. I remember hearing about it and not wanting to watch it
He's
because
got, like,
I was
8
like,
film
Huntress
credits.
isn't Batman's daughter.
Yeah,
she
he was in
is.
Glory.
Yeah, but like
Yeah,
there's so
I
many
know.
fucking
A
amazing
lot of
I
people.
people,
know,
a lot of
exactly.
people were in Glory.
Yeah.
True. But he had that very like, and what a scene. He's sitting in the room, he's making the phone call, the shit starts to drip, and it just dawns on me. I'm like, oh, he's gonna fucking die now.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
It was. I thought the same thing, Tito.
And I'm not, I like the heroes to live. I'm a hero. I want everybody to live.
Right.
I am not one of those like, these kids are so fucking annoying. I
Yeah,
want to
we
see
need
them all
them to
die.
die.
I always want people to live. And I was like, he's going to fucking die. This is fucking awesome.
Well, let's talk about the kids dying. I mean,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
back in conservative 80 times
Oh,
where
yeah.
killing children was a no-no.
Oh, the
little kids.
The little
dying.
kids, yeah, Kevin,
Teenagers
right?
I
were
kind of want to
okay.
see that kid die.
I want that son of a bitch dead. I want him dead. I want his family dead. I want his house burnt to the ground. I want to go to the middle of the night. I want to piss on his head.
Yeah. he
Yeah,
was
we
annoying.
all did. He was annoying,
Yeah.
but
Walking
the
around with his
fact that they
headphones.
did it,
Yeah.
and then the fact that they go into a movie theater
Yep.
with kids and you see kids like that's
Yeah.
pretty ballsy for back then.
Get
Yeah.
your feet on this. Get your feet off the seat. You're gonna get me fired.
Dude, yeah, he gets pulled under, and this movie does very well. There's a very good mix of like, you see things and you don't see things.
Right.
You see enough.
There's
yeah.
some shit you don't see. I thought once he got pulled under the water, okay, he's dead and that's it. I didn't think he was going to come popping out of the water like melted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then get like dragged away. I was like, holy shit. They
No,
fucking killed this kid.
It's like the say, look what I can do. Oh,
Yep.
you think this is it? No, this isn't Jaws. We don't just pull him under. We're gonna bring him back up and show you. It's,
Oh, so wild and a great effect because he
Awesome
just
effects.
comes pop.
Yeah.
When he gets dragged out, I'm like, oh, that's fucking awesome. And again, we'll beat this dead horse. My love for Shawnee Smith. Our love for Shawnee Smith.
Yeah.
Another great, a final girls moment. She's really quite fearless in this movie. She jumps into the water after this kid
Yeah.
to try to save
Oh,
him.
yeah. Yeah.
It's really amazing. She's like trying to
She's
save
not
these two
standing in the
kids.
back screaming.
No.
She's right up front.
It's like in comparing and contrasting this movie to the original. You think that like Kevin Dillon is the Steve McQueen character in the remake.
Yeah.
I think it's more Shawnee Smith.
Yeah.
Shawnee Smith is the hero.
Yeah.
Kevin Dillon and obviously what's his name who died, Donovan
Oh,
Leach.
yeah.
His character obviously is not the
Paul.
Paul. I have to definitely give it to Shawnee.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
spread out very well. Like they're all kind of experiencing a little bit of it, where it's just McQueen in the original. They're all getting their little piece of it. That's why, again, I just think this movie is really fantastic. I think it's kind of amazing how then we just take one of these characters away. I like in the original though, even though Steve McQueen is the only one who really knows, his girlfriend believes him. He goes to the movie theater and he's like, "This thing is happening. We got to go." And all his friends like, "I guess we're leaving the movies."
I
And
know.
they totally, without question,
Yeah, they
walk out of
follow
the
him.
theater
Yeah.
and they go with him and they try to save the day
You gotta
collectively.
follow Steve because he's cooler than cool.
Steve
Yeah, it's
McQueen
true.
is cool. He is the epitome of cool.
I
for
would
back
have.
then.
Yeah.
He
It's
told he
like
cock
sticking a
blocked
young
all those dudes.
Marlon
Yeah, he
Brando.
really did.
Yeah.
It's true.
You know, not Island of Dr. Moreau.
No.
Marlon Brando, but Rebel Without a Cause.
Yeah,
or-
early
that's
Brando,
James
early
Dean.
Brando.
The Young Rebels, and whatever the hell.
Yeah,
the
on the
movie
waterfront.
was. On the waterfront.
Yeah, all those
Streetcar
muscles.
Named Desire.
Godfather. Oh no, not the Godfather.
Godfather.
Godfather. He's-
Cotton balls in his
Yeah.
That guy.
Look what they did to my boy.
Look what the Blob did to my boy.
And the original has this very like, I don't know what the bad boy was in the 50s. It's fucking John Travolta from Grease, right? I guess.
That's right.
But I like that in this small town that everybody knows each other. And as much as they are not witnessing what's happening, the police are still like, well, we believe you too. We believe something. We actually still think you're a good kid, right? We don't want to arrest you. We don't hate you. You know, the dad's like, my son has never done anything like this. You got to believe him. They're like, you know what? We do believe him.
Yeah.
This is more wholesome where the Kevin Dillon character is like, they're looking for any excuse to throw this kid in prison. To the point they bring him in. That's another good scene when he licks
Yeah.
the guy's face. I was like, holy shit, that's fucking
I
bold.
like it.
He licked that dude's face. The guy from fucking RoboCop,
RoboCop.
the one
Yeah,
that melts.
exactly.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that guy is. Yeah.
Yeah.
was like,
He ended up on ER, that guy.
Did he really?
Yeah, he
Did
ended
his
up
face
on
melt
ER.
on that too?
I don't know. I
That's
wasn't
all
watching
I
the
can
Face
think
show.
melting movies.
I wasn't watching the show at that
He
point.
just has a face you want to melt.
Does he just get shot? No, the Blob gets him too, right? Oh no, he gets pulled through the wall.
Yes, that's
Oh,
what
yeah,
When
happens.
he's trapped in
Yeah,
like the
and
library or
yeah.
the town hall or
That's
whatever.
that's a
Yeah.
great
He gets-
scene too.
That's for me like the action equivalent to like pushing somebody's nose into their brain is the getting
Yeah.
bent in half and pulled through something
Yep.
is like the horror equivalent to that.
Yeah.
I love when people
Yeah,
do that shit.
you're not recovering from that.
Yeah, right.
No, there's no way out.
It's like,
It's like
every
what's her
third-
name in Jason X when she gets sucked out of the little
Oh, the
tiny
hole, the little porthole?
yeah,
Yeah.
or the breach hole
Yeah.
in the ship, whatever the hell it is.
they
yeah.
call it, the
Is it a
breach
breach hole, a
I
porthole,
don't know, I like
an
the sound of
asshole,
it.
Bunghole.
an
Yeah.
orzal
Orzal
Oh, the Orzabal.
Orzabal.
The Orzahole.
It's funny that the original Blob movie, and there was one of a couple of movies that had the bad boy be the hero during a time where like teenagers were basically juvenile delinquents, and there were all these PSAs about juvenile delinquency.
Yeah.
But the heroes in the horror movies were juvenile. Steve McQueen did play that, just like Michael Landon played a James Dean type in I Was a Teenage Werewolf,
yeah.
which is another excellent film where everybody else is of that time period, you know, all the old people playing teenagers, but Michael Landon, because he's a great actor, stands out. And that's actually a really good movie.
It is.
That. But
Agreed.
movies like that and The Blob, it's kind of like bringing the anti-hero and the anti-hero, the antipasto hero. You know, the Charles Bronson type, not so aggressive, but you know, someone who is against authority and has
Got
a
a little
record.
edge.
Yeah.
Rides a motorcycle, smokes cigarettes
Absolutely.
sometimes.
Doesn't give a care about
That's right.
nothing. You know,
The Orzabal and the Punch
the
Bowl.
Orzabal and the punch ball.
He's wearing like a fun shirt with like buttons everywhere,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the buttons unbuttoned.
Yeah.
It's very fun. His outfit. Is that his hair? I think it's his
Oh,
hair.
it's his hair.
Oh, I
It's
thought it was a wig.
terrible.
I thought it was a
think
wig.
it's his.
It
All
is
right.
a wig?
I
It's
thought it was
bad.
a wig.
Oh, all right.
I hope it's his. It's fucking just awful.
I thought it was just bad hair.
Just awful.
I forget wigs exist.
Yeah.
Weird.
And the scene, I thought, shout out Derek, a young Erica Eleniak,
Yes.
sitting shotgun, about to get date raped.
That's right.
But
in the
she's
car.
already dead. Spoilers for that guy. But that scene was like, man,
That's
this
a
is
great
so
scene.
fucking 80s right
Yeah,
now. This
I
can I
know.
unbutton your blouse?
Yeah.
42-year-old me is just like, oh, this is tough.
Yeah.
But dude, a lot of the kills in this movie are really fun.
Legit.
Yeah, they're fun. They're clever.
Mm-hmm.
They're well executed. The effects are really, really good. Paul, the boyfriend's death, I think might be my favorite because it's the most surprising. That and the telephone booth.
Yeah.
That
Because
was cool.
I want that
With the sheriff. And,
I was like,
That's
oh,
a
she's
great
gonna be
shock
okay,
moment.
and then I was like, oh, she's not okay.
That's the Ben Gardner from Jaws
Yeah.
moment when the face pops.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
And poor Fran is stuck in
Yeah.
the phone booth trying to call him, and
Wild.
you see his body like stuck in the. It's
The eff-
such a cool scene.
The effect of the blob coming into the phone booth and
Yep.
just like enveloping her.
Yeah.
And it looks like a tidal wave. It looked painful. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that's really her in there, but it all just comes
Still, though.
crashing into her, and it looks nuts. A lot of these things. One of my other favorite things is when Shawnee Smith gives her like final, like "fuck you, Lucky Charms" moment. You know, when she's like, "Fuck this blob,"
Yep.
and she does the thing, and she jumps off the truck, and her foot gets stuck.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was freaking hysterical and really awesome. Just that, like, she gets the moment, but not entirely, because now she's stuck and she's gonna die. Where she doesn't get that, like, light the match and everything blows up and she gets the walk away moment. She gets stuck and she's probably gonna die.
Yeah.
Kevin Dillon comes to save the day a few times. It's good. It's very fun. As much as it's a remake, I think it's quite original, especially for the time, based off of that Steve McQueen film. If we were just doing the Steve McQueen film, I probably would just really like it. But the remake, I think, is just so good, and
Yeah.
it fits my life and the way I grew up. That's my time period, so it's just perfect. 88, 85 through like 88 is like my golden era of film, just that style of like anything and everything. We just threw it at the wall and we want to see what's fun, what's not fun.
Time of imagination,
Yeah,
creativity.
it was
They did whatever, and they never pulled the plug on anything.
Yeah.
They just went out there and did it. Didn't matter if it sucked or not.
Yeah,
And
I mean-
that's cool. And that's kind of what the B movies did in the 50s.
Yeah.
I mean, they were doing the same thing. The 50s and the 80s have a lot in common if you scrutinize them. Both are like, both had things going on, bad things going on under the surface, but both times were really idealistic and promising, and everybody seemed good and happy, and they're looked upon fondly. The 50s are looked upon fondly with rock and roll, and the 80s are looked upon, but we don't think about the other stuff that's going on. We don't think about the racism of the 50s and the threat of the atomic bomb, and in the 80s there was the crack epidemic and AIDS. We don't remember that. We remember the glimmer, and so.
And the funny thing is, you mentioned B movies, and the Blob was a literal B movie. It was part of a double feature. And it did better than the original. Yeah. That it was than the movie that it was kind of supporting.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and that movie was like I Married a Creature from Outer Space or something like that. And where is that one now? Nobody remembers that one where everybody knows the Blob.
I love when that happens.
Yeah.
That's happened a couple of times. The original Invasion of the Body Snatchers had that. Night of the Living Dead
I just rewatched that.
Night of the Living
2 weeks
Dead
ago.
was the second billing, and nobody even remembered the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never know what's gonna.
Who's the star of the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers? McCarthy, right?
Kevin McCarthy.
Yeah. Who was also in Inner Space.
And a bunch of Joe Dante movies.
Yeah, I just rewatched that a couple weeks ago.
Um,
He's the scientist that's trying to get the.
That's him?
He's the one that shrinks down like 1/3 size at the end, and he's in the backseat of the car.
Oh, yes. Okay, that guy. Yeah.
He's got the white hair, but he's a lot younger.
You've seen him in everything, believe me. The Twilight Zone, in the kid with all the superpowers there, he's the grandfather in that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's amazing in the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, yeah. That's a great
fantastic movie.
With a decent remake also.
Yeah.
But not as good, I don't think.
Which one? The 78
the
version?
78 version with
Donald Sutherland?
Donald Sutherland. It's good.
Leonard
it's
Nimoy?
freaky. Yeah.
Excuse me, people.
But that's okay. Crack one open for me.
Yes.
No, that's okay.
Follow Tito's advice from 2 weeks ago. Crack that baby open.
Crack that baby open. Open up the crack.
Release the Kraken!
All right, so we got a little some categories,
got a
some
few?
compare and contrast. If you guys want to check them out,
Absolutely, buddy.
All right, cool. All right, so better. Which movie has the better lead?
All right, so am I starting?
You're starting.
Let me find my notes because I did write these down. Better lead, I've got to go with Steve McQueen, who, even though he was 28 and playing a teenager, I think he was a much better lead and a solid lead than Kevin Dillon was. Although, having said that, like I said, I think Shawnee Smith was actually the lead. I still think I have to give it to Steve McQueen, though.
Yeah.
Over Shawnee.
Better male lead,
Yeah. Well, if you want to say male lead, then he was definitely much better than Kevin Dillon.
I didn't even think to include Shawnee Smith.
Well, it was just a point that we brought up now
right.
because I was thinking about that when I was watching it because I'm like, all right, Paul died. Kevin was kind of, and I'm not a huge fan of the Dillons anyway, so I'm biased. So I got to give it to Shawnee.
Damn you, Dillons!
Yeah.
I'm okay when I watch a 50s movie where older people are playing teenagers because I only know of the 50s from stories from my parents and again my in-laws, and even though I know they're young, I picture them in that time period as older people.
Yeah.
So I can totally buy somebody like Steve McQueen playing a teenager, and as opposed to like, I don't know, maybe like the early 80s,
John Travolta,
late 70s.
maybe?
Yeah.
Playing a teenager.
Oh, my God.
Stockard Channing playing a teenager.
God.
Yeah.
Talk about the oldest teenagers.
Who was
Yeah,
Kinnicky? I don't remember Kinnicky's name, but he was pretty old.
Sonny, I think you're 50.
People smoked a lot back then. It was a
did they
different
ever?
time.
Oh, my God.
Shout out to Stockard Channing because I think she's fantastic.
Oh,
But
Stockard Channing is awesome.
She was not in
She
high
is
school.
great. She is great.
That wasn't her first pregnancy. She was up there. Right?
We love you, Stockard. Great name.
We love Stockard.
Stockard.
Oh, fantastic.
It's not Orville, but it's
No, I know. I got to be honest. When I was a kid, I thought her name was Stockyard. Like, oh my God, really?
Stockyard.
Her parents named her after a place that kills animals.
Yeah, I thought it was Stockard Channing.
Stockard Channing.
I'm a little bit torn. If you made one, I'm gonna say if you made one movie, Steve McQueen would be the guy and Shawnee Smith would be the gal. Because
perfect.
I think she's really, really good. But I guess I gotta go Steve McQueen because I think he carries that film outside of the 50s effects and the Blob itself. Steve McQueen is carrying that movie because everybody else looked and sounded exactly the same to me. I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
In this movie, there was a lot more character in each character. So I guess, I would have to go Steve McQueen.
I'm going to agree with you guys. Steve McQueen for me as well, just because he's awesome.
Yeah.
And Kevin Dillon's fine. I don't have a problem with him, but he's got other people he can work off of. Steve McQueen does not. He's in a very silly movie. He has to make you believe that he's fighting a rubber monster, basically, which, it's a very primitive effect. It's not a great effect. It's a good effect for its time, but, you can see what they did and how they did it. So for him to, make it believable and watchable, that takes a lot of great talent right there.
Yeah.
So, against a lesser actor, it would be goofy. We've seen a lot of B movies in that era with lesser actors. If this is like Whit Bissell going up against the Blob, or
Whit Bissell,
or I don't know, aging Bela Lugosi from Plan 9 from Outer Space,
God.
then you got a problem. But
he is carrying that, and he's carrying the film. It's the Blob and it's Steve McQueen, and then it's everybody else.
That's right.
If he is not on screen, it is not that interesting. Unless the Blob is on the screen also.
Although I'm going to say, having said that, Bela Lugosi was the Steve McQueen of his day. You can't watch... Dracula would not be watchable without Bela Lugosi. He's on another... Everybody sounds like that era. They talk alike. They look alike.
Yeah.
See here, friend.
Yeah. Hello there. What do you mean there's a vampire? But Bela Lugosi he's in his own world. He's ahead of his time. And he's the Steve McQueen of Universal. Let's go with that.
All right, we'll give it to him.
Hey, speaking of Steve McQueen remakes with Steve McQueen movies with a remake that's almost just as good, you got to see, Tito, the original Thomas Crown Affair. Stars Steve McQueen.
I didn't see that
one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Steve McQueen and Faye Dunaway, really good.
I like Faye Dunaway.
I got some movies to watch.
Yeah, you do.
All right.
Yep.
Watch them.
And the remake with Pierce Brosnan is really good.
Oh yeah, and Rene Russo.
Yeah. Yeah. Dennis Leary. Great cast.
Dennis Leary is in
it. Yeah. Both movies are fantastic. What, you don't like it?
I like Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary's great.
Yeah.
What did he ever do to you?
No,
He stole a
nothing.
lot of Bill Hicks stuff, but other than that, what did he do to you? He's good in Suicide Kings.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah, he is.
that monologue is really, really good.
Me and
Ref.
Mickey Mantle are going to pay you a visit. Oh, The Ref is a great movie.
Yeah. Oh, that's,
All right, so the better story. They're almost identical, but there are little differences.
I'm kind of going with a tie on this one. The original is the timeless alien drops from the sky invasion, but the remake makes it a biological weapon created by the government. So I think that's a nice twist. So I kind of want to give it a tie because it changes it just enough for me where it's kind of a little more fresh.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't necessarily understand it was in a satellite that fell from Earth, but it was
I think the
cocooned
orbit
in something.
The orbit decayed. I think that was like the burnt satellite that it was cocooned.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, so it kind of looked like an asteroid
like
from
stone.
one side. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's funny? As I was watching the original, I was assuming that the army would show up at some point, and it never does.
Nope.
The government shows up in the remake. I probably
because it's their mess and they're trying to clean it up.
As far as the alien aspect of it is concerned, probably the original, but as like story wise, because I like the characters and they're doing so much more, I would go with the remake just because of the relationship between the three characters. Then one of them is gone, and then it's her and him, and then it's it's the sheriff and the lady in the diner, and there's just a lot more going on. And although none of these people are stars in the remake, they're all better actors from my perspective.
Yeah.
So there's just like a little bit more going on and a little extra that's just not being given to you. With only like 7 more minutes of film, I think. They're both like right around an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
Quick watch.
How a few extra minutes can change a film. What's taken out or put in. But yeah, I'll probably go story-wise. Go with the remake.
If you're invested, you don't really notice.
Yeah, true.
I love the remake, but when I found out the thing was from the government, it kind of sours it for me.
Yeah,
I like things from outer space. You don't know where they came. You don't know where they come from.
It
You don't know
still
where
came from
they've
outer
been.
Space,
but
not too far from outer space, but
not far enough for me. I'm gonna go with the original just because I like the core concept of something from outer space comes and just starts eating people. It's simpler, and I'm more a fan of that. That's the Night of the Creeps. That's Killer Clowns.
Yeah.
I like that. The Thing. I like that kind of thing. Once the government gets involved, you're like, oh, that's
a
that
cop
was
out.
really not a cop out. No, they didn't do it as much back then. I'm not calling it. Now it would be a cop out. Then it's just like, well, why did you do that? That was foolish of you humans.
Yeah, what's wrong
like,
with the
come on,
government?
man. You know, now I want you to be eaten even more. And so,
Aren't my taxes enough?
exactly.
I gotta make
This is
fucking
where my tax dollars
oozes.
go. You're making blobs? Come on now.
Make him
McDonald's is doing that for you, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Did you just call me Blob?
Yeah. What's inside that apple pie?
The blob.
It's not
It's
real.
probably the
It's
blob.
not
Or the
real
stuff.
apple.
That's what we got to watch tonight. We got to watch the
Oh,
stuff.
I haven't seen that.
That's what we need to do.
Joe Bob did that, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, we'll watch the Joe Bob
really?
version.
Oh, sweet, yeah. You've seen that, right? The stuff?
have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
great movie. Sorry, off
No,
topic.
that's okay.
I think it's pretty obvious, but I'll put it in there because I never knew. Better special effects.
I have to give it to the remake because the blob in that film is literally an inside-out stomach that dissolves its victims with acidic fury. Plus, it's got tentacles, which is cool, unlike the original. And these can grab hold of its victims and pull them in, and yeah, it was a really good effect. I like the changes they made to the blob in the remake.
Oh, when it freezes and it like turns into these crystals.
Crystals
I
were
absolutely
cool.
love. Oh, I
and
forgot about.
the preacher picks them up and puts them in the
Yeah,
jar.
I forgot about the
Yeah.
ending to the movie that I actually thought was really fucking cool, where it's him and his face is all fucked up, and he's at this like church under the tent thing,
Yep.
and he's got the little
revival.
the blob in there, which is like you could have made more movies. I don't understand.
Yeah, but they
Like,
didn't.
There
It
are
wasn't
worse movies that
it
got
wasn't
fucking
popular.
sequels.
It was kind of
wasn't
a dud.
popular.
Yeah.
And you know why? You had said it earlier, Tito. This was back during the Jasons and the Freddys. This is what people wanted to see.
Yeah.
No one wanted to see the Blob. The Thing didn't do hot as well. Was a critical flop, and you know people weren't interested in they didn't have that nostalgic feel for bringing back the old monsters. You know, they were into slashers.
Yeah.
And
Well, what's
teenage-
weird is like the cover. I remember the cover for the VHS, which was really fucking cool.
It's the
Yeah.
face and the blob
yeah,
coming
just
at
in
you.
the blob.
Yeah.
That's fucking sick.
It is.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
and the day of like home video, I would have thought like a movie like that would have had more run. But yeah, it didn't. But effects wise, it is very good. I will say the 50s effect that they do when the blob first grabs the guy's hand and it almost you can kind of tell it's been filmed backwards.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's pretty fucking cool. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have thought they would have had the ability back then, or even when it's surrounding the diner, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 80s, that shit's just amazing. Those practical effects are just amazing.
Yeah.
But
No
yeah.
CGI in either of these movies.
Yeah,
No.
but for the original, I think they're pretty damn good for I don't
For what
watch
it
a lot of
was.
50s movies, but those are pretty fucking
Yeah.
damn good special.
Because
effects.
normally you get like a guy in a rubber suit, or you get like big fake-looking bugs or something, and
right.
you know he had this gelatinous mass that's just moving around, and yeah,
I was
think
expecting
they-
like a string,
Right,
pulling
where
a
you could
thing
tell.
along the
Yeah.
Yeah.
some shit
Yeah.
like that, or on a stick, just fucking.
you know, it kind of looked like the thing that fell off of Lane Meyer's plate in the dinner
Oh,
scene.
yeah,
on
when it's-
Better Off Dead when it's got raisins in it. You like raisins. And it crawls off his plate, but you can tell it's just being pulled by a string.
It's bacon. I boiled it.
I remember showing Liv that movie a couple of months ago for
Better
the
Off
first
Dead?
time. She loves that movie.
Oh,
now.
good for her.
But when she was watching the dinner thing with the tentacles coming out of the
Oh,
floor
yeah.
and the thing moving, her face was like, "What am I watching? What is this?"
Oh, there's like a crab claw
yeah,
coming out of
that's
the
what
top.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
like
also tentacles, too.
Okay, there are
octopus tentacles.
tentacles, yeah,
There's
okay,
a bunch
yeah,
of
I
weird
re-
shit coming out of it.
I'm gonna go with you guys. Yeah, the '80s effects are obviously better, but unlike a lot of these remakes, like the original, The Thing from Another World doesn't hold a candle to the effects in The Thing.
No.
This movie does a really good job. The original does a really good job with making this
With
ball.
what they had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believable, and that's hard to pull off.
It's a
Yeah.
cool looking
It's
thing.
a cool looking
Yeah.
thing. It
Whatever
is.
it's made out of, whatever however they did it,
Right.
it looks unknown and it looks alive.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
as much as they can make it look that way. I think it's pretty amazing.
So it does come close. Better overall cast.
I think I'm going to have to give it to the remake, unfortunately, because all the original had going for it was Steve McQueen. And as cool as he is, he's not a full cast. The remake, despite Kevin Dillon, had Shawnee Smith, the guy from RoboCop playing the deputy sheriff.
The
Shawnee
sheriff
Smith's
is from
father.
The Walking Dead. No, the father.
Oh, yeah.
So the sheriff who gets eaten.
Yes.
Oh, the
season-
deputy.
Yes,
Or whatever.
yeah,
He was in like season 1 or the first couple of seasons.
Yes,
of
you're
Walking
right, he
Dead.
was.
Jeffrey Damone. He's in X-Files: Fight
Oh,
to the
yeah.
Future.
Yeah.
He was in Stephen King's Storm of the Century. He shows up in a bunch of
Yeah.
things.
And I don't know who played Shawnee Smith's dad, the pharmacist.
Art LaFleur.
Art
Art LaFleur.
yeah.
But I
Art
mean,
LaFleur.
I'm watching the movie, and like I said, I had saw this movie like back in '88.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching it last night again for the first time in how many years? And all I could think of was like, wow, does this guy look like discount John Favreau? He just had.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that's all I could
Kinda
see.
does.
That's all I could see.
He does. Now that you mention
Yeah.
it. Yep,
I'm like,
absolutely.
wow.
Legend, like all time. I feel like he's an actor that probably should have been in a lot of Joe Dante movies.
Art LaFleur?
right? Because he's just
Yeah.
in so
One of the big
fucking
character
much.
act-
He's
yeah.
in so many movies.
You have seen him. You have seen him in every show. You've seen him, from Tales from the Crypt to Law and Order to Northern Exposure to like he's in the pilot episode
Yeah.
of Northern Exposure. He's the guy who keeps getting shot in the butt by his wife. 'cause
Really?
the wife
That's
can't
him?
find
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
what I remember him from, of all things,
Mm.
is an old Coke versus Pepsi commercial. I can't
Really?
remember who the winning one was. I can't remember if it was a Coke commercial or a Pepsi commercial. But there's
the
a
Cola
truck.
Wars.
There's a truck delivery guy from
Oh,
Coca-Cola,
he's
and
the
there's
one
one
that-
from Pepsi, and they're sitting
I
in a
know the
bar,
one you're talking
and
about.
that song is playing. Come on, people now.
Yeah, smile on you, brother.
So the guy gives him a sip of one of the colas, and he's like,
oh, this isn't
"Oh,
bad.
this is good." And then the other one takes it and doesn't like it or something like that. But they end up getting into a huge fist fight while the peace song is still playing. And one of them is Art LaFleur, and that's
Okay.
what I remember him.
All
from.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember
All right.
that commercial.
And
That's
also,
way back.
I got to look up her name, but the one that played Fran from the diner, I know I've seen her in other stuff.
Oh, Candy Clark.
Candy Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been in a ton of stuff too. So I mean, it's just a cast of people that you've seen in 100
Yeah.
other stuff.
Yeah.
And like I said, the first one just had Steve McQueen, and as cool as he is, he isn't an entire cast.
No,
so
he's
I
not.
have to give it to the remake.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Brian. Also, it's gonna be the remake for me again. Steve McQueen is killing it, but I said it earlier. And besides his girlfriend, who I actually think is doing a pretty good job.
yeah.
I think she's a great actress. I think
Yeah.
they have really good chemistry on screen. Every character is the same exact character to me. I don't notice a difference. Whereas in the remake, they are all different people and they all portray that on screen. Some of them are likable. Some of them are fucking awful.
Yeah.
And they're all doing a good job. Some of them, you want to live. Some of them you don't want to live. In the original, everybody's just kind of nice. I kind of want everybody to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who dies. The doctor? Does the,
The
doctor
doctor
die?
dies.
Yeah, the doctor and the nurse.
die?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are some
The
people
old
in the movie
guy.
theater that die too.
Yeah.
Some people in
Not
the
everybody
movie
makes it out of the
theater.
movie
Yeah.
theater.
But it's very just, as far as like everybody else in the film. Even the kid that plays her brother, I kind of wanted him to die.
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, what the hell's wrong with this kid?
Oh,
he
he-
has to know this gun doesn't work.
Yeah. he has to know he can't act for
Yeah,
shit.
You know those aren't real bullets, right, little boy? Fucking numbskull. I'm gonna go with the remake for the.
Same. More character actors, and I'm a big fan of character
Same.
actors in this one. And one of them is who plays the doctor. That's Jack Nance, Eraserhead, Henry from Eraserhead.
Was it really?
all of
Shit,
all
I
of
never knew
David,
that.
in a bunch of David Lynch movies. So gotta give some love to Jack Nance, man.
Oh yeah,
Here's
he's
the
only
Jack
like
Nance.
in
He's
two
not in it
fucking
very
seconds.
Yeah, it's a cameo.
Can't you see I'm with the patient?
Yeah.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was a Racerhead, huh?
There was the fish in the percolator. Yeah, Pete Martell from Twin Peaks. Mm-hmm. That's him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. The projectionist, Hobb the projectionist in the remake. I'm watching it and I'm like, I know this guy from something. I had to look him up, and he was in one of my favorite movies. He was in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? He played.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yes, he played Hogwaller. What's his name? John Turturro's cousin. That they go to get their manacles chopped off when they break out of prison, and then he turns them in for the bounty.
I still have to see
You
that.
Judas Iscariot Hogwaller, I curse your name.
He's in an episode of Twin Peaks too. He played
Yeah. Oh, he's
Played who?
Muddy.
Muddy.
He was muddy.
Oh, and Bill Moseley was in the remake.
Yep.
As a
Bill
soldier
Moseley
number
is
2.
Soldier number 2.
In the sewer.
Frank Coulson,
Soldiers
the
in
guy
the
who
sewers.
gets who watches Bruce Willis punch the other guy in the nose through the brain in Last Boy Scouts.
Oh, yeah?
He's in The Happening.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
guy who loved hot dogs.
Oh
in
yes,
The Happening.
he is in the last fucking
Yeah.
Boy Scout. You're absolutely right. That's like, hold on, I remember from something.
Yeah.
Oh, Diggstown. He played one of the guards.
Yeah, a lot of character
A
actors.
lot of character actors in that, and that wins it for me.
Agreed.
All right, next one. Would either or both movies make your rotation? Would
Yeah,
you watch these again on a regular basis?
Yeah, I got to say both now. After rewatching the remake for the first time in 35 years, I forgot how good and fun it was. Really fun, solid remake. That was a real worthy successor to the original, which I love so well. So yeah, now the both of them make my rotation because the original was already in my rotation. That's something that I watch maybe once a year.
So the remake for sure, and I would my caveat is like it gives the original gives the remake it makes it that much better for me knowing what it was based on, how faithful it is, but how it was kind of brought into the 80s. It made me like it even more. I was like, oh, this is like a fucking homage.
Yeah.
Only done in the 80s. This is really kind of awesome. And it doesn't have this like rip-off kind of feel to it.
Right.
At all. It feels fresh. It feels original. And it just feels like it's honest. It's trying to take this thing that maybe wasn't that popular and kind of bring
And
it
be
into
its
the
own
80s
thing.
and have it be
Yeah.
its own thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, the remake for sure.
All the three big ones. There's the three big ones that did that. The Blob did that. The Thing did that, and The Fly did that. You know, we didn't make another fly monster. It's a disease. It's turning you into a fly slowly.
Yeah.
The Thing from Another World, obviously, is one solid creature. No, we're gonna turn this into something that can be anything. Same thing with the Blob. This thing shape shifts. It moves around. It doesn't just remain one solid image. They do. They come up with fresh ideas, but again, they don't lose the spark that the original had, because these directors grew up on those movies and said, well, we're never going to be able to do this film, but we can take what we loved about it and add our own thing to it, as opposed to something stupid like Gus Van Sant trying to remake Psycho.
Yeah. Shot for
Remake-
shot.
Yeah, shot for shot, remaking the same movie, but just making it colorful for the
Yeah.
I
kids.
never saw it, but he did that to be a jerk, right?
I don't know if he
I
did it
thought
to
I-
be a jerk, but a lot of people hated it, and
Yeah.
I kind of lost respect for him for doing
Yeah.
it.
Has Gus Van Sant worked since then? I hardly hear his name.
Did he do?
Just-
Is Gus Van
Goodwill
Sant Goodwill Hunting?
Goodwill
Right,
Hunting.
Was he
and-
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
And he
okay.
did
I
that
guess he did
movie.
then.
He did To Die For with Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, it was, but that was before.
That was before.
Yeah.
No, he was a good
Yeah, Goodwill
filmmaker,
Hunting
but
came
for
after.
whatever reason, this was just a really dumb thing to do. There was
Yeah.
no need to do it.
That's another one of those. I was thinking about that movie earlier, just thinking of
Oh, he did Drugstore Cowboy too
Yeah.
with Matt
With
Dillon.
Matt Dillon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
son of a bitch.
Speaking of My Own Private Idaho.
My Own Private Punchable Face.
like a Psycho with Anthony Perkins being
Yeah.
like a really standout in that film, kind of carrying the movie. What's the actress's name in that movie?
Janet Leigh.
Janet Leigh.
Yeah.
She again another real great standout, and it has that kind of similar twist, right? She dies pretty instantly.
That's right.
Like the boyfriend dies. I was watching the movie. I was like, oh, this is kind of Psycho-ish, and but just done so well. And
Jamie
back
Lee
then
Curtis's
you just had
mom.
you had these actors that just kind of carried films, and they continued to make films because Anthony Perkins didn't kind of get that same respect, probably because of Psycho. But
No, he just did such a good job.
great actor,
That's-
right? And Steve
yeah.
McQueen is such a fucking phenomenal actor. Having seen this movie again, this is the first one I've ever seen, and it's one of his earlier films, and I'm like super impressed. By,
Yeah.
you know, his
No, he
ability
only
on
gets
that-
better.
on this,
You definitely
on
see
that film.
Bullet. I mean,
Yeah.
the guy's he's got the eyes.
Yeah.
The eyes do it.
Yeah.
You know? He's a beautiful looking guy.
Yeah,
man. You
very
know?
handsome.
Yeah. Bullet is known too for like one of the cinema's most amazing car chases.
Yes.
Too.
Okay.
And
absolutely.
he
Okay.
drives this fantastic looking green Mustang too through the streets of San Francisco.
Oh, I think I've seen this.
Yeah,
You might have.
it's famous.
You might have. At
Yeah,
least the
it's
scene.
Yeah,
famous.
I've seen the scene.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's famous. Yeah, he plays a cop in that one called Bullet. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
Check it
that's
out.
that's what Gone in 60 Seconds tried to do. Their goal was
Yeah,
like to out
exactly.
bullet. That
yeah.
was their
Okay.
mission.
And the car was even modeled after
Yeah.
Steve McQueen's car.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's cool. Yeah.
And
check
is that
it out.
Michael Caine?
in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about the Nicolas Cage one.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But I'm
okay.
sure in the original.
Oh, wait, I think you're thinking of the Italian Job.
No, I'm thinking Gone in 60
Oh,
Seconds.
was Michael Caine in the
Michael Caine
Italian
was
Job?
the original
Oh,
Italian
the
Job.
That's what
original
I'm
Italian
thinking
Job.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. The Italian Job, too, probably.
yeah.
But I'm going by what
Yeah.
because I watched the behind-the-scenes stuff on Gone in 60 Seconds, and they had said that. The whole Eleanor scene.
Okay.
I want to see for a while, the original made my rotation because it was easy to get. It was hard to find the Blob for a while, and then good old Shout Factory released a beautiful special edition of it, which I have, so I cannot wait to see all the behind-the-scenes stuff. I want to know how they did a lot of those effects.
Yeah.
Is this the original one or the remake?
No, this is the remake.
The Shout Factory
remake,
did?
Yeah.
I might have to pick that up myself.
Oh, it's awesome. I have it. It's beautifully done.
Is it a steelbook?
No, it's not a steel.
I'm not getting it then.
But still beautiful. still adorable. It's an adorable movie.
Shawnee Smith. Shawnee Smith in a
That Shawnee
steelbook.
Smith is super. But yeah, man, both of the
Roland Roosevelt steelbook?
That's just his face. both make my rotation now. For
Nice. Me
sure.
too.
I will go back to these movies, and I'll go back to now that I have a copy, I will watch the remake more and more, and it's right up there as far as it's one of the best remakes I've seen.
Yeah.
For
I mean,
sure.
it has everything that all those fucking 80s horror movies had.
Yeah.
Suburbia, teenage kids,
Yep.
sex,
Yep.
fucking murder, mayhem,
Monsters, blood,
all
gore.
that shit, man. It should have...
Stupid adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adults that don't believe kids.
Dude,
Mm-hmm.
More should have come from
my
it.
triple feature is The Blob, Night of the Creeps, and Killer Clowns from Outer Space, all opening with something falling, and you know, and The Thing too. That does the same thing. So, and Critters. All right, so more than triple.
Things falling from the
Yeah.
sky.
Yeah.
Fivology.
It's a
I just
trilogy. It's
spit
a
everywhere.
trilogy plus
Oh,
some.
Did you?
I had a Fivology.
Ooh.
I don't think it got on the cans.
He hates these cans!
The
Protect
cans.
myself.
I don't have COVID. I don't
I
know.
don't know, you're spitting.
That we know of.
All right, here we go. This might be pretty obvious,
Yeah.
but give me an MVP for the original.
It's got to be McQueen for me.
Samesies.
Yeah. Solid.
Okay.
McQueen. Give
And
me
the
an
remake?
MVP for a remake.
Shawnee.
Awesome.
Yeah, I want to give it to the effects because they are really fucking good.
Good call, Tito. That's
But I love her, so I'm gonna give it to Shawnee. But
a close second to the effects.
honorable mention
Yeah.
for the effects because
Agreed. I'm going to
they're
second that.
damn good. They're like Thing level good.
Yeah.
That it's very close.
Yep. They did a really good job with the Blob in the remake, I got to admit.
I'm not going to argue Shawnee.
Shawnee.
Shawnee
Orzabal.
Shawnee Orzabal. Shawnee Smith is awesome in it. And you guys made some great points. I didn't even realize how cool. I mean, I thought she was good, but I didn't realize how cool she was until we were talking about it.
Yeah. She's the one that goes down to the sewers after the two kids.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. But I am giving it to the effects. More so, I'm giving it to the kills. This movie has awesome kills and ballsy kills. Again, killing children in a theater.
Yeah.
A close-up of a boy being devoured in such a weird
Yeah.
time when horror movies were being like just ostracized.
Yeah,
from
shying away from that
cinema,
stuff, exactly.
And parent groups were being formed to protest them, and all this. I mean, the slasher movies didn't even have the balls to do what the Blob did.
Well,
Yeah.
the Blob can do so many extra things, like pull a guy through a sink.
It
Yeah.
can.
That's
right?
true, yeah.
They pulled a guy through the sink.
Absolutely.
And his foot, and then the how the pipe starts to like swell
Bulge,
up.
exactly.
It's fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
There's some really cool stuff. And
Yep.
Paul's hand comes out. She grabs it. His hand fucking
Oh,
falls
it's
off.
Oh, yeah,
He's
yeah.
melting
She's trying to pull
away.
him out of the Blob and he's just
there's-
disintegrating.
There's a lot of fucking really cool. They did a lot of really cool fucking
Yeah,
things.
agreed.
This hasn't been done since.
No.
right?
No.
Not like that. No, not really.
It probably wouldn't be
I
done
mean,
well.
it's probably got some of the best kills in that time.
Yeah.
Slasher movies
Yeah.
included. I
The
think.
closest thing I can think of is the recent Dungeons and Dragons movie where they had the gelatinous cube. Remember that thing that was?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see the new
Oh, I
Dungeons and
still
Dragons
have
movie?
not yet, no.
All right, check that movie out with Chris
All right.
Pine.
Yeah.
Fantastic movie.
I do want to see it. I like this part.
In Dungeons and Dragons, they have this thing called the gelatinous cube. Hello,
Gelatinous cat.
The gelatinous cat just jumped up. And the gelatinous cube is kind of like the Blob, but it's just like a cube form, and basically it inhabits these dungeons. So it just hello.
Hi.
It just goes down the corridors of the dungeon, and it devours everything that's in its path.
Oh, that's cool.
And so like you can see like skeletons and stuff inside it, and swords and whatever that it didn't dissolve. But
that's
it's
cool.
This is acidic cube that's gelatinous, and it's reminiscent of the Blob.
Is it
So-
CGI'd?
In the new movie, it's CGI.
But how does it? But it looks. Still...
It looks awesome,
Okay,
yeah. But
'cause
it's just cool to see something
yeah.
like that because that's basically what the guys who did the Dungeons and Dragons stuff in the 70s when
Yeah.
they came up, Gary Gygax and whoever else came up with the creatures. I'm sure they were influenced by the Blob from the 50s. So, yeah, it's really cool monster, and it was nice to see it show up in the new movie.
There was a Blob episode in Wellington Paranormal, right? If I'm not, wasn't there an episode where they investigate a Blob? There was.
On the farm, right? Or it's like pod people kind of blobs.
No, the pod people were the farm. The Blob is in the city somewhere.
I'll have to rewatch it. I don't remember that. Well, I can remember the farm one,
I
and
gotta
I
watch
remember
that
those.
show again. That was
Those
a
are
good
kind of
show.
like blobbish people.
Blobbish people.
Did you just call me Blob?
Well, that's it. That's all I got for some categories, guys. So I guess that's the Blob.
Yeah,
both remake.
definitely recommend the two of them.
Yeah, both
I
of
would
them
say.
solid.
You can't go wrong with either.
I'd say pretty much equal in terms of entertainment for one reason or another.
Yeah.
Check these movies
Yeah,
out.
and it's cool
Definitely.
because the 50s one, a lot of people think like 50s sci-fi horror is in black and white. This one's in gorgeous Technicolor.
It is.
So,
It's very crisp.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
copy-
So,
I
so
watched
there's
that
no
too,
reason
you
not to
know.
watch it.
It looked great. Yeah, I would definitely recommend both. If you've seen the original, see the remake because they do a really good job of it. If you've never seen the original, see it.
Yeah.
It makes the remake seem that more interesting.
Yeah.
I do like that they have different endings, like extra endings,
Yes,
which is
call.
fun, and it doesn't really take away from either film.
it doesn't.
You know, but yeah, they're both. This is a great pick, and I'm glad I got to revisit the remake and see the original.
All right.
Same.
Okay. Well,
Awesome.
All right. 3 out of 3 dads. Give it its approval.
3 out of 3.
What's making our geek flag fly, gentlemen?
You know, I wish
Oh.
Derek was here because I feel like he'd probably hate Shawnee Smith.
Nah.
I'll ask him when he comes back.
Nah,
Yeah.
we'll ask him what he comes. No,
He's
I-
like, oh, she's the worst.
He didn't send in anything, huh?
No,
didn't-
he's at a concert.
No, I know,
doesn't
but
have time.
I know you had texted him earlier.
I
so-
did. Yeah, he was going to, but he's.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think
He just took
got-
2 tabs of acid. He doesn't
Yeah.
have time for fucking thoughts. He's fucking swimming in a sea of t-shirts right
That's
now.
it. That's it. I hope Roland Ozerball does a good encore.
Is that your arm or my arm?
Dude, I don't even know where the fuck I am right now. I was at this party earlier tonight and some guy hooked me up with this incredible X, and next thing I know I'm being thrown out of a moving car. I've been tripping balls ever since.
It's
How many arms do you have?
arm.
I couldn't tell where the chromeo began and I
And the
ended.
Cruliette. Yeah. I'm making Cruliette a thing. I'm just
Cruliette,
gonna push
yeah.
that fucking thing, man. Okay, so we'll tune in next week when we find out what Derek thinks of Shawnee Smith.
Yeah.
In the meantime, what is making our geek flag fly?
I have a couple of things. I saw a movie that was recommended to me by a couple of YouTube channels, I should say, that I look at. This one's called Arcadian. It's a Nicolas Cage movie from
I've been
this
wanting
year.
to see this. I haven't yet. Yeah.
It's really good.
Cool.
It's him. It's the post-apocalyptic. He's living in a remote cabin with his 2 teenage sons. They're twins. There are creatures that come out at night, and you don't know what they are. They only come out at night, and they try to get into his cabin every night, and they fend these creatures off. Most of the time, they get discouraged and just leave on their own. But then, they, for whatever reason, they start getting more aggressive. And one of the sons has a girl that he likes who's in a neighboring settlement, and he sneaks off to see her, doesn't make it back in time.
You're led by
And so
your
Nicolas
hormones.
Cage has to go out and find him, and they're confronted by these creatures. The creatures are weird looking. There's one scene where one of the sons traps one of the creatures in the house.
Yeah.
And it is fucking creepy as hell. I watched this with my wife, Kathy, and she was like freaking out when this thing was coming through the door because its arm, its finger, it just kept elongating. and this kid was pretending to be asleep in like the chair, so the creature just kept getting closer and closer to its face, like the arm just kept, it was like infinite stretching.
Cool.
And it was, and Kathy's like, she couldn't take it anymore, and then finally this kid ended up trapping it somehow. I'm not going to give it away, but it's really good. The effects are awesome. The acting is cool. One of the sons is played, I don't know who the actor is, but he did Will Robinson from the remake of Lost in Space from the Netflix series from a few years ago. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
I never saw it.
It was really good. I watched it. I also recommend that too. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch
Is that the dude from? Is this the kid? Well, this kid was in the Knives Out and the It movies. So there's that kid.
That was the one.
Out.
Yeah, that was the one from Knives Out.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's the one that was in the Lost in Space remake.
Okay.
The other son, we were watching and we were like, he looks familiar too, but he's in another Netflix movie that we saw recently called Metal Lords, which is funny.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's the kid from Metal
him.
Lords,
yes.
and this is the kid from Lost in
exactly.
Space. Okay.
Yeah.
Lost in Space.
Yep.
Metal
Lords.
Yeah.
He was in the It remake.
That's right.
also.
He was.
Yes.
He was Bill. Was
yes.
he Bill?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
He was Bill.
Right.
But I remember him from Metal Lords. It was because of more recent movie that I had seen. Anyway, to get back to Arcadian, it's really good. I recommend it. I heard good things about it, checked it out, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. One of the other things that I saw recently is Apartment 7A on Netflix as well.
I've been hearing about this.
Not Netflix. I'm sorry. It's on Paramount Plus. And this is the prequel to, unfortunately, Rosemary's Baby, which you're not a fan of.
No, not particularly.
Yeah. So,
but I'll give it.
Diane
a whirl.
Wiest is in it.
Well, she's my favorite
and
actress.
she, I know.
Oh, Jim Sturgis?
And she plays Jim Sturgis is in it. Diane Wiest plays the Ruth Gordon character from Rosemary's Baby.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, this is the story of the woman who had the apartment before Rosemary and her husband moved into the same building in Rosemary's Baby.
Right.
And the cult it's their first attempt to try to bring about the birth of the Antichrist.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I had such a hard time.
I like. I know we had this discussion a couple of
can't
months
even
ago.
stay
Most
awake.
people do.
I like Rosemary's
Can't stay
Baby.
awake for it.
Listen, most people do. Yeah. You're not wrong. I know a ton of people that love this movie. I
love
tried.
and I'm not a fan of Mia Farrow.
I'm not
a fan of Mia Farrow.
Maybe
but
that's what does it.
It could be.
I like Mia Farrow.
Do you?
I
was
do.
never a huge fan at first.
But I do like that movie. I love the atmosphere of it. I love the New York setting. I love the apartment. I love the building. I love the supporting cast. I love Ruth Gordon. I love the one that plays her husband.
You know what? I'm 10 years older. Maybe last time since I last saw it, I think I'll give it another. This will
Give
be
it
my
another
eighth
shot.
attempt.
Give it another shot.
Maybe I'll watch the.
So those are the two
first.
things that I watched this weekend. One more thing that I want to say because I brought up YouTube channels. There's a YouTube channel that I like called the Cobwebs channel, and this is put out by this guy named Daniel, and he has a lot of the same interests that we all do on this show. He likes a lot of Hammer stuff, and he does a lot of Hammer movies. He talks about a lot of Universal movies. But now that it's getting up towards Halloween, he talks about like his favorite autumn movies that have like fall vibes and movies that are getting him in the mood for the Halloween season. But one of the latest episodes that he put out was his top folk horror movies, and I love folk horror. I watched his video and I'm like, oh man, I love that movie. Oh man, I love that movie. So now I'm going down the rabbit hole trying to find the movies that he was talking about, and also buying the ones that I really love. So I just bought a copy of The Blood on Satan's Claw.
Okay.
I bought a copy of Witchfinder General.
I haven't seen any of these.
Oh, Witchfinder General, you would love because that's Vincent Price.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's a really good
What,
one. We'll watch this one
Cobwebs?
together. It's the Cobwebs channel.
Okay.
The guy that does it, his name is Daniel something, and he does a really good job. I think it's a channel you would like, so
All right.
subscribe to it.
I'll definitely.
And I recommend anybody out there who's into horror movies like we are to also check it out. But yeah, I'm going down his list of folk horror movies because I'm really into folk horror. The Wicker Man, the original Wicker Man.
We saw that.
Okay.
Yeah, we all watched that. He had. Let me. Do I have it here? His list is the new one, The Witch, The Vivitch.
No, that one.
Yeah, the Robert
I
Eggers
never
one.
saw that.
Gonna
Yeah.
agree to
Is that
disagree on that
Anna
one.
Taylor-Joy?
Yes. Yeah. He's got Sleepy Hollow, The Company of Wolves, Blood on
Oh,
Satan's
Company
Claw,
of
which I
Wolves.
just
Company
talked
of
about.
Wolves, yeah, we've talked about that.
Pet Cemetery he also classifies as a folk horror movie
Yeah,
because of the
totally. Small
the
Town.
Witchfinder General, Pumpkinhead, which you brought up earlier,
okay,
Tito.
yeah.
So now that's on my radar because you brought it up. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I got to talk about that. This movie that I started last night called The Ritual with Rafe Spall.
Oh, The Ritual, is that the one where they go on a trip?
Yes.
Somebody
The-
that movie is awesome.
Yes, I
I've
started
seen
watching it. It's on Netflix. I started
Great
watching it last
monster
night,
movie,
but
great monster movie.
I started it too late. I'm going to rewatch it. Finish it probably tonight after you guys leave. The movie The Black Death with Sean Bean. It takes place.
Oh, I never saw it, but I remember
I had it
when
on
came
one of my
out.
watch lists at one point and never
Yeah.
watched it. And now I'm like, I got to watch it then.
I remember the still for it or whatever.
Yeah.
Me too.
The movie that Derek and I were talking about, The Vortilac, that Derek now has
Yeah,
on his
it's-
Vudu.
yeah.
I got to watch that. A movie called Apostle. That's on Netflix.
Oh, dude, that's the guy who made the Raid movies.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes,
Yes.
I've been meaning to see that movie
Yes.
too.
So like this guy
Apparently
has
the action
recommended
in it
so
is
many
really
good movies, and I'm
amazing,
like, dude, I got to watch it. I'm putting a list together of
I'm
stuff
doing-
that I want to
dude,
watch
I'm gonna
before
check this
Halloween.
out.
So
Absolutely.
yeah. So that's what's making my geek flag fly right
That's
now.
what I mean, more Halloween
Yeah,
movies.
I know, but you know what? I like finding new stuff.
I do too.
I like as much as I like revisiting the old favorites. I do like discovering new things, and I really like this guy's recommendations. I really think Mark,
All right.
would really like this guy's channel. So
Yeah,
check
check
it
him
out.
out. Absolutely.
And anybody else out there who's looking for a good YouTube channel, check out the Cobwebs channel.
Yeah.
Cool.
When you're not listening to us.
When you're not
Yeah.
listening to us,
Listen to us first, then.
because we can
check
also
out
be
the-
found on YouTube.
Dude,
We
yeah,
can.
I've been meaning to watch Apostle for a while because I love that guy. And apparently it's got some really fucking cool action in it too.
Yeah, that's what I
Because
heard.
it's, the guy who
Yeah.
made the Raid movies.
Never heard of this movie before until I saw this guy's video over the weekend, and I'm like, God, I got to watch all these movies.
And it was a Netflix original, I think.
Yeah.
Apostle,
Yes, it is. It's on
Came out
Netflix.
Not too long ago. Mine, I got, shout out Derek, because I know he likes wrestling. I watched the Mr. McMahon docuseries.
Oh,
that.
they were talking
No,
about
the-
this on
the-
Howard Stern.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He's complaining. He says he doesn't think it was fair. I thought it was pretty fucking fair. The guy's a scoundrel.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
does he want? But it's a 6-part. It's fun. If you like wrestling, Derek, I know you do.
There's Derek right there.
There he is. It brought me back to my youth, really, because I was really big into wrestling, especially in my early teen years. So it was fun to watch, and I love backstory on fucked up shit like that. Like Dark Side of the Ring and those things. I like to see how fucked up these people are. The other things, which I feel like are pretty straightforward. Agatha All Along. I watched the first few episodes.
Oh, me
of
too.
that.
I
It's
like
fun.
it.
It's a fun
I
show.
started watching that last night and I fell asleep. Not because I did not like it, but it was late.
Yeah.
But
That's how I was with the
but from
Ritual.
what I saw, it looked really good.
Yeah, it's
I
kinda
got through
cool.
most of it. It's like one of those she's stuck in a show kind of thing.
Yeah,
right? Is that what
it's kind of it has
because-
it has the
it's
WandaVision
got
esque.
the, I'm
Yeah,
feeling the
but only
to
at the very
begin.
beginning.
all right,
Only
yeah,
the
'cause
first
when
episode, yeah.
when I saw this, I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
this
it's
is like
not
a
more the
true
same.
detective kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got to be they're doing
Yes.
a WandaVision.
And I like that because I like the credits and everything too,
Yeah.
with like the characters' names.
Oh
and
yeah,
not the,
yeah,
not the,
with
the actors' names.
Yeah, with Agatha and
Yeah.
Aubrey Plaza, man. Oh
Yeah.
God, she can do no wrong in my eyes.
Oh, exactly.
Oh my God, she's just.
And I like how it
wonderful.
was like based on the Danish show something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So far so good. I'm liking it, and I watched the first 2 episodes of Penguin.
Oh, me too.
I hear
I'm liking
the
that
show. is
show.
fun.
Dude,
So,
it's fantastic.
I'm waiting for the whole thing. I was gonna watch
Yeah.
it little by little, but
Yeah.
I'll do that with Agatha because it's good. It looks good, but I'm not like super interested in it like
Yeah.
I am with the Penguin.
Yeah.
It's like Agatha all along was like a good show. The Penguin looks great, and I just
Yeah.
want to watch it.
So
and
I
if
like
I want
the
to watch
Penguin,
more,
and I wonder what your thought is on it based on things you've said in the past about superheroes and things happening and them not being around.
well, okay,
Right?
But I
because
know
you're living in this world
I know.
that a Batman exists and shit goes down.
Yeah,
But
are they giving a reason for it yet?
so we don't know.
We don't know
Right?
yet.
It's only 2 episodes in. So
All
we'll
right.
see where it goes. But when I
so
watch
far-
it, I wonder.
So far, I will forgive it
Yeah.
because at some if Batman shows up at
And
some
if they're
point,
hiding that, from everyone, and he's gonna fucking appear in the show, then fucking awesome.
Dude, then that's fine.
That's gonna be great.
And if they don't, I just need to know why he's not there with a couple of lines.
Just tell us why.
Just tell us why.
But he's
in outer space with Robin fighting giant fish. Fine.
But the blend of it gives you right off the jump. It gives you everything from that Batman film that has happened. So it's not like this separate world. You are in that Gotham, and things have happened that every's trying to
I like
recover
that
from.
this is
cool.
its own universe, and it's going to expand off this universe.
Yeah.
I really wish, and I really wish James Gunn would just give us the DC, whatever you call it, but also have DC Elseworlds,
right?
Like a separate, so you can continue to do other DC stories without having to worry about a main thing to follow,
right?
Like Marvel's doing.
Yeah.
Give us a side title, DC Elseworlds Presents. You know.
Yeah, I like what they're doing. They're going to do an Arkham show.
Yeah,
it sounds like
they're doing. You got the Joker and Harley movie.
Oh, that comes out this weekend. Yeah, it's a separate,
and that's a whole other thing too.
Yeah,
you know.
Yep.
I mean, that's how I look at them. I just look at them
they exist in their own little bubble universe.
Right.
I like it. I don't mind if there are 3 Jokers happening all at once.
Yeah,
right. As long as they're good stories.
Yeah,
as long as seriously, I agree with you.
Not Jared Leto.
Not everything has to connect.
Yeah, right. Not everything has to connect.
But to get back to the Penguin, Tito, I was never a fan of Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
He has become one of my favorite actors.
Oh,
in the
me
last few
too.
years.
Oh yeah,
like
agreed.
Like talking about spin-offs, the movie The Gentleman.
Yeah.
The Guy Ritchie movie.
Oh, he's awesome in that as the coach.
As the coach.
guy.
I want to see a show just him with his guys as the coach and his fuck up students.
The gang.
The boxers to be. I'm like, give me more of him. He has become one of my favorite actors.
Dude, he's one of these guys that is just like, he's a handsome dude, so you assume leading man.
Yeah.
But probably one of the, I guess he's a star, but one of the best character actors in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like he can and will do anything you ask.
Yeah.
So
like, he doesn't have to be my handsome face on screen.
Right.
And that's the problem, because I feel like he was the guy you called when Brad Pitt wouldn't do a movie.
Yeah.
And he wasn't that great. I never liked him until I saw Horrible Bosses. Once I saw him in Horrible Bosses,
I think that's what turned it around for me.
Oh, this dude can act.
Yes.
He's funny.
Agreed.
He's willing to ugly himself up.
Agreed.
Be a total schmuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he's not afraid to make fun of himself.
And then he started growing on me. And then when the Penguin came, I was like, oh, I'm sold. He's great. He's awesome.
Good call on the Horrible Bosses.
This is an excellent spinoff. I mean,
he's very good.
I really want to see it. I'm fighting not to. I'm trying not. Maybe I won't now though, because just talking about it with you guys.
Well, there's just like there's so many. Like for me at least now, I found myself in a position where I was conditioned to watch everything all at once. I'm now finding myself in a position where I'm just like, I kind of like looking forward to Sunday night.
That is true. One of my geek flags is that too, actually.
So
I'll get to it.
I was happy to see the 2. It's obviously DC, but fucking HBO knows how to make gritty television,
They do.
and they make it well. So it's great. I like it. It's better than Agatha. I like Agatha. I like the witch stuff. I like when they kind of get into the mystical and away from the superpowers and the superhero stuff. So it's a fun show, but The Penguin is definitely, it's fun. It's HBO. It's gritty. It's Oz and fucking The Wire. It's all that shit.
Yeah.
You will recommend Breaking Bad to everyone you know.
I will recommend Breaking Bad to everyone I know.
Breaking Bad is the best show you've ever seen, except maybe The Wire.
Breaking Bad is the best show I've ever seen, except maybe The Wire.
You will never stop talking about Breaking Bad or The Wire.
I will never stop talking about Breaking Bad or The Wire.
The Sopranos. Like you
I'm
can only get this shit from HBO.
Great.
Right?
And I love the gangster element.
Right.
I
They
know
invented that
Derek
shit.
has talked about the gangster element of Gotham City
Yeah.
being something he's fascinated with. I don't know if he's watched it yet or not, but I feel like this would be the show for people that like the Falcones and the freaking the Kurgan.
Oh, yeah, Sal Maroni.
Yeah.
As Sal Maroni.
Yeah.
How freaking awesome is that? I cannot wait to see it.
Clancy
Clancy
Brown.
Brown. Cool. Well, I don't know if I can wait.
Yeah.
Give
it a shot.
I will, because was there anything else?
No.
All right, well, let me jump to, because I'm watching a show episode by episode, and it's killing me now because it's so good. Sarah and I are watching season 3 of From, We were
I just started watching that.
Creatures that come out only at night. You gotta board yourself in the house. You have no idea what you're in for. This show,
great show,
goes in all different directions. And it is so good.
Kathy and I are halfway through season 1 right now.
Good. Oh, you're gonna love season 2 is great, and season 3 starts off awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So that was on. That was one of them. The other one was nobody. I'm not gonna reckon
this is on MGM Plus.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. But you can get I believe you can get the first 2
Can you
seasons
watch it on Prime?
now.
Yeah.
Because I think Prime and MGM are together.
Yeah.
I don't have MGM Plus, but I still have DirecTV, which has one of the MGM channels.
I got MGM Plus free for 6 months because I just bought a new TV for the bedroom, and it was an Amazon TV, so it came with the subscription. I'm like, all right, I'll check it out.
Cool.
So that's how I started watching it. I was like, oh, this is good.
Oh, yeah, check it out, man. Check it out. His name's escaping me now because I just cannot remember names anymore.
Patton.
No, the guy from
the one from Lost.
Harold Parnell from
I screwed up his name. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, Paranu.
Yeah. Who was from Lost.
Michael.
Another similar show when you don't know what's going on, but I like From a whole lot better.
Did you ever watch Oz?
I never did.
He's the narrator to Oz,
and I should.
He plays a character in the show.
J.K. Simmons is in
It's
Oz,
fucked up,
right?
man. I mean, I get it's worth one watch.
I missed the boat on that one. I just don't think I was interested.
They're shitting on each other's faces. It's wild.
I'll have to watch it.
It's wild. It's a wild show, Brian.
I guess it is.
Yeah, I watched it when I was a kid. I was like, what the fuck is going on? What am I doing?
It's a shiza.
Damn.
Amazing show, though.
The other thing I got, and I'm not going to
what's it
recommend
called?
it to anybody.
Orzabal?
Orzabal.
Fibble Snatch. Yes, Orzabal Fibble Snatch.
It's called Oz. Orzabal. Last thing, Blood and Honey 2.
Oh, did you see it?
I saw it.
Oh, what's that on? It's on something.
Well, you
it's
can
on
rent
Peacock?
it. You can rent it, but the first one's on Peacock.
Oh, I thought the second one was too.
No, I don't. Maybe unless it's on there.
I'm gonna look.
My buddy Jay found a way to get it. I'm not going to say how. I don't want to get him in trouble, but we got it. We watched it. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Bigger budget. Story is actually
like
more
$15 more
thought-provoking than you stuff. No, a lot more. They had no money in the first one.
$16 more?
$20.
They gave Pooh pants in this movie?
No. Actually, Pooh is dressed in like
he wears
leather.
clothes.
Yeah, he wears overalls.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's really weird. So in the first one, it's basically guys in really cheap rubber masks because Blood and Honey was like Cobra Kai at the time.
Yeah.
This was just kind of a joke thing they were going to do, but it took off. So they got a budget and they were able to get better looking masks and the characters could talk and they bring in more of the characters.
The mouths move.
Oh, yeah? They're articulated
so
this time?
people in masks. It's actually supposed to be Winnie the Pooh.
It's supposed to be them.
Oh, interesting.
But because the first one, like I said, was set to be not really a joke, but just kind of goofy, fun thing to do.
They were trying to beat everybody to the punch.
An experimental
so they came out with something quick. Yeah.
They didn't have a lot to do. So it's people in masks, but they're supposed to be Pooh and Piglet gone feral.
Yeah.
And the second one,
as you do.
It's not a direct sequel to the first one. It's because the budget is so much bigger, they decided to make it its own movie. And Blood
it's Evil
and Honey.
Dead 2?
No, it's Blood and Honey that exists as a movie in the second movie, and it's the real stuff that happens. It's kind of hard to explain. You gotta see it. It's meta. Very ingenious.
That isn't Evil Dead 2 at all.
No, it isn't. It's more Human Centipede.
Okay.
Or Human Centipede 2, where somebody watches the Human Centipede and gets the idea to steal the actors.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah. So they were like, well, we got a better budget, and we want to bring all the animals back we killed, so let's just make it its own movie. Let's make Blood and Honey a movie that existed. And here's the real story that Blood and Honey was based on.
Oh, did Piglet and Pooh die in the first one?
Oh, spoiler. Piglet does, I think. Yeah, I forget what happens to Pooh.
Because he's gay?
Yeah, that's Piglet's
Is that
gay.
why they killed him? They're still doing that in horror movies?
Just because he liked to wear...
Just let him live his life.
What was it, a freaking gymnastic outfit? Stripes?
It was very interesting. It had holes for his arms and his legs, but yeah.
He did. And Pooh didn't wear pants. Mickey Mouse had to wear pants, but Donald Duck and Winnie the Pooh didn't.
Yeah, go figure.
They are stuffed animals.
Weird.
So who do they get for part 2? They got Pooh back. They got Piglet.
Is it
Piglet.
Eeyore?
They got Tigger. No, they kill Eeyore.
Oh, yeah.
But Eeyore died in the first
Although
one.
Eeyore died in the first movie, and since the first movie is a movie, you know what? He might come back.
You never know. We'll keep that door open.
I hope so. You guys got to see these movies. I know you won't, but let's pretend.
I saw
that
the
you
first
do.
one.
Oh, did you?
I did see the first one.
Did
I
you like
enjoyed
it?
Yes.
Oh, then you'll like the second one.
I saw the first one too. I'm just pretending I didn't.
I know you, Tito. You would never. I know you well enough now to be like, oh God, Blood and Honey. When you go, Mark really liked this. I'm going.
It's like, what did I watch on Peacock recently? Where I was like, oh, Blood and Honey's on here. What? How mighty? How the mighty have fallen, Peacock. Jesus Christ!
Don't knock it till you try it.
So what? Did Universal buy this group out?
I don't know.
Why I can see it on
public
Peacock?
domain. You can do whatever you want.
Somebody's giving these fuckers money.
I guess so.
They got $27 to make a sequel.
Or the ball.
$8. Tigger and Tigger and Owl are in the sequel. And what they do is Owl he's freaking creepy.
Is he a pompous asshole?
No, he's just a real sadistic
Is he like,
motherfucker.
He's not
is
a
he like the
know-it-all?
rabbit in Donnie Darko?
No, there's no rabbit yet. We're waiting on rabbit.
Okay.
There's no Kanga and Roo. I don't know what's going to happen, if there's going to be a mother-son.
Is that was
Christopher
that all
Robin.
the characters?
Christopher Robin's there.
That's everybody, right?
That's everybody. Well, unless you count Gopher, the Gopher that shows up in one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then you could bring in Heffalumps and Woozles.
Oh, yeah.
You could have a lot of fun with
that's
this.
when it can get weird.
But you know what they're doing?
That's when they can get weird.
That's when they
like Blood and Honey
That's when it
is
gets
not.
weird.
But they're already showing glimpses of the other movies they want to bring into the
for the
Poonaverse. Bambi the Reckoning and an evil Peter Pan movie that's happening.
Yeah.
We're getting the Poonaverse.
That'll
And there is
public
one person,
domain.
I think there's one person, two people excited about it, me and Jay.
And the guy who makes the movies.
And the guy who makes the movie. I'm his entire audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, somebody went
I'll
to see
kick him
this.
a few dollars. You know? They got Venmo. Poonaverse guy's got Venmo. I'll kick him a couple of dollars to make that third movie.
You want to go back to throwing stuff against the wall and
see
what
what
sticks.
sticks. Yeah,
These are
fuck.
sticking because they're made of honey, blood and honey.
Good God.
And finally, lastly, I promised I would do this.
You promised yourself you wouldn't cry this episode?
Now I'm getting emotional. I'm a little verklempt.
I promised myself
Too late.
cry.
Yeah.
How come you don't recognize my face, phone?
I don't know. That's not the one it knows.
Brian's cat's on my...
Maybe that's not your phone.
It is my phone.
It's somebody else's phone with a Frankenstein sticker on it. You stole somebody else's Frankenstein phone?
Shh, don't
That's
tell anybody.
wild.
All right, so you know our good buddy Aaron Leidecker.
Yes.
We did Monster Serial with him. He
I
is
sure
now
do.
pursuing
Stand-up comedian.
He's a stand-up comedian. He's everywhere now, and he's got his first live comedy taping event.
Ooh.
October.
Taping.
Yeah, taping.
I didn't know it
This
was
is
taping.
Yep. October 11th at the Galactic Theater, where we had our live Monster Expo show. Which
like 2 years ago, 3
not
years
Monster
ago.
Expo. Monster Serial show.
Yeah.
We do a lot of things with
We
monsters.
did the
all time.
crossover.
8 p.m. along with Kristen Logan and 10 p.m. with Dan Martin. Galactic Theater on 440 Main Street, Warren, Rhode Island. That's 8 o'clock at the Galactic Theater. Aaron Leidecker. If you are looking for a fun comedy, check that show out Friday, October 11th. And the following day, I'm going to be at Monster Expo Lives in the Marina Seaport in Fairhaven, Massachusetts.
Oh, yes.
Monster Expo's back for Halloween, baby, at Monster Expo Lives. Come on down. Come see me. Unless you don't like me, then don't come and see me.
Shaping up to be a very
That is a
full
busy
week.
friggin' weekend.
Wow.
And week, because you know what happens the following week.
On Wednesday, we're
headed
head
to
to New York.
Comic-Con.
That's right.
We are going to Comic-Con. We're going to hook up with the Ham Brothers
2
from Get Your Shine
weeks
Box.
from tonight.
Holy crap, October is busy.
Yes, it is.
And
yes,
spooky.
It is.
And it's spooky. It's creepy and it's kooky.
Yes, it's altogether ooky.
Yeah.
The Orzelbot family.
Yes.
Shout out Aaron Leidecker.
So shout out to Aaron Leidecker. Definitely check that show out. He's a funny guy. We have had him on this show before. We've done
have.
podcasts with him.
Not in a long
Always
time.
good
He's
for
got
a
to come
laugh.
back.
Yeah, come on back, Aaron. He can tell the dad joke for us next time Derek's not here.
Well executed.
And that's at the Galactic Theater in
Warren,
Rhode
Island.
And, if you know Aaron Leidecker or have been to one of his shows and thought, wow, I'd like to hear him on the Three Geeky Dads. How did he mesh well with such talent as the Three Geeky Dads? Well, you can go to past episodes that he's guest starred on.
Yeah,
and to
like
do
the
that,
Twilight Zone episode
The Twilight
and
Zone, Back to the
Back to the
Future.
Future
Oh,
episode.
Sarah was
Also
on that
featuring
one.
Sarah was on
Sarah.
it, the only female we've ever had on this
That's
show.
right, Mark's wife, Sarah.
6 years and one female. We're three sexist dads.
I think we've got to rectify that.
Yeah, I know. We're all married. Why
Yeah.
not? Oh, wait a minute. That's why.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
we
Our wives get mad.
We can't bring women down to the basement here for the show. That just sounds weird.
Interesting.
They're creepy and they're kooky.
So if you're downstairs with a woman in your basement, you're looking for something to listen to, Brian, where can they go?
They can go to www.3gdpodcast.com. That's www.
The number 3.
GDpodcast.com. And as Mark said, you'll be able to find all of our past episodes there, along with one-click buttons where you can easily subscribe to us. If you haven't already subscribed, hit one of those buttons to the podcast platform of your choice, and you'll never miss an upcoming episode. Also, at the website, you can rate and review the show. If you would, please and thank you, give us a 5-star review and a 5-star rating and a review. It goes a long, long way to help push our little show a bit further forward from the rest of the podcast pack. And more importantly, it makes it easier for others to find us while they're searching. And also at the website is our email links and our social media links. We're also found at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our audio can be found weekly at YouTube as well. And also, we have a Ko-fi page. Ko-fi is like Patreon. So if you like us and you would like to help keep the show going, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated if you would make a donation of any size. It helps keep the show moving forward because, as we always say, podcasting is not cheap. Again, thank you. And I think that's pretty much it. So, Mark, back to you.
Yeah, give us money. We're done. It's been 6 years. We're done being nice. Give us some money.
Give me the cash. Give me the cash.
You like it?
You like it? You like
You
the
like, you like this comedy?
You like the show?
It's not free.
Give us the cash.
Give us any cash. Give us a quarter.
Yeah, we're making Blood and Honey 3.
Yeah.
Need some money.
They need to
At
go
least
up 50 cents.
$6 or $7.
How are you going to see Killer Kanga and Killer Roo with that?
Nah.
The Poonaverse. Oh, it's fantastic.
Killer Orzabal.
Killer Orzo.
Roland Orzabal?
Roland Orzabal.
See that? I told you I'd get it.
Well, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Tito. And thank you, everybody out there, for listening. As always, tune in next week. We're going to have another old and remake pick for this season of for the spooky season for Halloween, all of October. Until then, for Three Geeky Dads, I am Mark.
I'm Brian.
I'm Tito.
Saying good night and keep watching the skies because Orville Orsenthopper is coming or whatever his name is.
Orville Redenbacher.
Redenbacher. No.
Rest in peace.
Pop.
Let it all pop.
out. This is my corn and it's coming out. Come on.
Gross.
I'm talking to... Nah, it doesn't work.
Talking Poonaverse.
Poonaverse.
Shout, it gets stains out. These are the stains I can do without. Come on.
That's good.
They're very good. Very good.
That's good. I like that
Thank you.
one.
Thank you, Wurzel.
I don't like the song.
They're blood stains from poo.
Roland.
Yeah,
Roland
they're
Orzabal.
blood stains
Roland
from
Orzabal.
poo, so come on.
Blood and honey from poo. Blood stains from poo. You got to get that checked. Shit.
Piglet.
Bloody shit.
Does Tigger
Piglet.
bounce around
Yeah.
in his tail?
Oh, he bounces, and he's basically like Freddy Krueger. Every
War
other word
Piglet.
is bitch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of stupid, but it's still the kills. The kills are why you see it. They go all out on the kills, and they're fucking ridiculous.
It's War
I thought
Piglet.
you saw it for the star power.
Generals gathered in their masses.
Is that Piglet? Is that Piglet doing?
War Piglet.
Oh,
War Piglet.
oh, bother.
Instead of War Pigs.
Just like witches. I can't do any
Like
of the
I
poo.
said.
No, they all have the Freddy voice. Oh, bother.
Oh, really?
Let's do it, eh?
Let's do it. It's time to podcast, man.
That's okay, man.
It's time to podcast, man.
We're gonna podcast, man. No goshera, mano.
Yeah, they wanted to get in.
He's perverted that one. Breathe too heavy into this thing. Sorry, this cider's really good. Yeah. Test 1 2 test. Hello. perfect. It's going to be really perfect, Tony.
Hello.
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 Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Brian. Oh, hi, Tito. Let's go play football in an alley, huh?
You look so sexy.
Put your tuxes on. It's time to toss a football around.
Oh,
What?
no, I was just thinking of my Geek 5.
Everybody ready?
Ready.
Here we go. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Don't ya?
Don't you? Who?
Don't you wish Derek were here so he could give a better dad joke?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah,
yes,
I
yeah.
do right now.
Based on what I just experienced, 100%.
It's his fault. Blame him.
Don't you wish
back,
I could
Derek.
read good like Derek too?
I'm not even reading.
Oh, I was like, what are you
That's
looking
how
at?
I sound.
I'm Derek Rayner.
Machi.
All right, so
No, that's cool. So then the
music.
intro. Yeah, okay. And at the table will be some snacks for us to nibble on as our own alien of antipasto. What the fuck? Antipasto. No pasta for you.
You sure you're Italian?
I don't know what I am anymore.
Hey, Paisan, what you doing over there?
Paisano. Hey, Paisan.
What's the matter? What's the matter, you?
Hey, it's Paisan, not Paisan.
What's the matter, you?
Let's try that again.
Bada bing.
It's antipasto.
Bada bing.
Are you
Bada
sure?
bing. I hope so.
I mean, you're the Italian.
Only a
WNBC.
quarter Italian. It's
Anti
the
the
Polish.
pasto?
Anti the pasta.
The pasta.
That's how the Enterprise ran. They put the pasto and the antipasto together.
Fibble snatch. Yes, Ozzaball Fibble snatch.
It's called Oz. Ozzaball.